Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's see if we can actually complete the intro, shall we? Why don't you like me, cat? I just wish to pet you. Come here and let me pet you. Why doesn't he not wish me to pet him?
Yennefer's in Vizima. Got a few friends there, so... Something wrong?
Look around. Trouble brewing.
Time we were on our way.
I'll buy some provisions for the journey. Then we'll go. Geralt, we should stay out of it. Just this once.
What happened to the lilies?
Took him down.
Took 'em down to hang a golden sun there now.
I cannot show Temerian colours. They'll come and burn the tavern down.
Maybe it's true what they say. You fond of the Imperials? You Nilfgaard's whore?
I'll let that pass. I know grief eats at your heart.
You know shit. They hanged my sister, dragged her out the cloister like a dog. Said Nilfgaard's no place for superstition, that they don't fear the wrath of the gods. And you? Do you fear it? If not for Annie, your child would have choked on its navel string. You owe your son to
Let
my sister
go!
attending to the birth, and you don't fear the gods' wrath. You don't fear it, you cunt! Leave me be!
Recognize this medallion? You know what it means. Back off.
You alright?
They say witches steal young'uns. That true? What the Emperor promise you, freaks? Your own land? Like he did the elves once?
Get out, all of you.
We ain't going nowhere. And neither are you.
They won't back down now.
I can see that. It's all right. It's over.
Leave me be! Get away!
See his face! God save us!
Be gone, and don't ever come back.
So much for not getting involved. Come on, let's go.
That brawl, we didn't start it.
Excuses, excuses. You've not changed a bit.
Yen? How?
I received a report about a witcher who'd appeared in White Orchard. I knew it was you, looking for me. I might have waited until you found me, but... well, you know me. Patience has never been my strong suit. It's... good to see you, Geralt. I'd even embrace you. Were you not covered in blood?
Sorry. Wasn't expecting to see you. To be honest, this isn't at all how I imagined we'd meet.
How did you imagine it?
You didn't imagine you'd have a Nilfgaardian escort. Don't get me wrong, Yennefer. I'm glad to see you. But I do think you owe us an explanation.
And I shall provide it. In Vizima. Ready your horses.
We can talk here. Some charming orchards nearby. In bloom even, so you almost can't smell the corpses.
A tempting proposition. Sadly, I must say no. You see, someone awaits you in Vizima. Someone who doesn't like to be kept waiting. Emperor Emir var Emrys, or, to those on more intimate terms with him, the white flame dancing on the graves of his foes.
Doubt I number among that group. Far as I remember, last time we saw each other, he wanted to kill me.
Well, now he wishes to make you an offer.
The kind one can't refuse?
I didn't, though I could have.
Fine. Guess I'm willing to hear him out.
The Emperor of Nilfgaard, Lord of Metina, Ebbing and Gamera, Sovereign of Nazaire and Vicovaro will feel honored, I'm sure.
What about you?
I'm going in the opposite direction. I somehow doubt the Emperor's invitation mentioned me. Besides, I've got things to do at Kaer Morhen, remember?
Yeah, I remember. Thanks for your help, Vesemir. See you soon.
How's your horse? Swift?
Can't complain. Why do you ask?
I'd like to be back behind some thick city walls as soon as possible.
You know, I had a dream about you recently.
Knowing you, it was probably filthy.
Just the beginning. But then...
But then?
Ride now!
Talk of this tomorrow, all right? After the audience.
Okay, I think it's safe to finally talk. God. No, wait, pause. Good Lord. Good morning. Hazardous, Corrallus, Loner, Kingswolf, Grey Wolf, Leander, Alex, Micromana, Miscarda, Dream Whisper, Wanta, Kashtar, Cashel, Goldflabius, Black Vial, Platy, Aboring, Zigmus, Skystrax, Retu, Sonoshi, Puzzle Fury, Goldtech, Huthor? I think that's everyone. And Tokyo Vampire. Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much, Sonoshi. As always, appreciate those subs. Thank you very much. Now, if you'll give me a moment, I don't actually have that document up right now, but I will have it up momentarily. And then I, too, can go ahead and type down that Sonoshi wants to put money towards Halo. There we go. So noted. Thank you very much. So, here's a couple things. So I have been doing a lot of gushing and praising of this game. But as I've said many times, there's no such thing as a perfect game. Even a game that I love, unadulteratedly love, is still a game that has flaws and things that bother me about it. A gush run. Well, good morning, Twinning M, excuse me. So, keeping that in mind, I do feel like every now and again, especially in several of the action cutscenes, the directing just sort of fails. That cutscene we just saw felt like, to me at least, a pale imitation of the horse ride back in Fellowship of the Ring, the movie specifically. Now, I know that could be a debatable thing back and forth, whether there's a deliberate connection between Fellowship of the Ring and the horse ride we just saw. But either way, whether it's connected or not, it still pales in comparison to it. It was just kind of pathetic. So what do we... I had a dream about you. Oh, yeah? Yeah. Oh, my God, ride! And then there's no real energy to the scene. It's just them riding, and occasionally one of the nameless mooks happens to kind of die, sort of. And then every now and again, they... They look behind and it's like, oh my gosh, they're almost gonna catch us. And then they're like, and she sends her lightning bolt, which actually looked pretty pathetic, which is weird because most of the spell effects in this game actually look pretty good. So kind of a bleh special effect on the lightning bolt. The lightning bolt takes out the bridge, and then they win. This is the second thing that bothers me about that cutscene, and I want to get this out really quick. Because I don't like it when any fiction, game, book, movie, show, does the thing where we just need to get away. We just need to get away. And basically they overemphasize how terrifying the thing is that they're running from, so that when they finally do get away, it doesn't make any sense that they do so. You know what I mean? Like, at least the Matrix established the concept that you could get out of the Matrix, and once you did, that was the barrier. They couldn't follow you there. So that made a degree of sense. But most fiction doesn't have that. Instead, there's like some arbitrary point at which they just kind of stop following you. And half the time, especially in movies, there's no explanation for why. They just decide, well, they just went over a small creek. I guess I'll just stop following them, even though I have nothing to do but to follow them. You know, just stuff like that. And it's the same thing there. These guys are literally dimension-hopping, teleporting Super Doom elves who are a part of it and vanguard of an invading army. And they decide to stop following them because she knocked out a bridge. I could think of several reasons why that might work better, several ways to present that better, but as is, the whole scene just kind of falls flat for me. Now, Jesus Christ, Alex. Excuse me, just... Thank you. Thank you very much. I don't actually know what else to say. You're awesome? I mean, you are awesome. That's established canon. I can't help but notice you didn't want to put that towards anything. Please don't put it towards Cyberpunk. Anything but Cyberpunk. But anyways, I'm sorry, getting back to the point. There are ways to kind of explain away that cutscene, but that's why I started this whole explanation by complaining about the directing, because I just feel the whole scene fell flat. I'm debating if that's deserving of a full negative by itself. I think it's at least part of an aggregate negative. Folklore. What the hell is folklore? What the hell is folklore? Oh, that PS3 game! God, right. I've apparently already looked this up. Sorry, you just said Folklore Lives, and it didn't occur to me that that was the name of a game. Okay. So, in that case, Alex Korobaniki, 150, Folklore. Yeah, sorry, it didn't process in my mind that Folklore was the name of a game. Got it. Putting it towards Folklore. Thank you very, very much. Again. I have not, Magister. I don't know what you're talking about. I've never reviewed this game. So yeah, as Leander says, there are ways we could visually present this better, or get across some of the ideas better. For example, maybe their dimension hopping has a timer. You know, you could visually present that kind of information. You could just have, as the fight's going on, the camera turns back and we see one of them just kind of fade back into their little dimensional thing. It's like they're being recalled, effectively, because they have limited time. So it's like, oh, okay. Something like that would have been nice. Maybe you could have done a thing like, as Leander points out, the barrier around Vizima just kind of starts shimmering a little bit, and one of them like slams into it or stops just before hitting it or something, right? There are ways they could have made that scene work, and they didn't, and that's kind of my point. So, that scene sucked. Just going to go ahead and move forward. That scene sucked. I think we're going to go ahead and start a, let's call it a story negative. This is actually going to be an aggregate for right now. So that's, I believe, the second scene now. So I'll keep track, too. Damn it, Alex. Well, thank you again. Very, very much. That's why, again, once again, I still point to the directing of a lot of these scenes. There's 2 scenes so far. Oh, yes, sorry. I am willing to give even Witcher 3 negatives. I know, weird. But yeah, I think that firmly sits under story. I can't see any variance on that because, whoops. Because it takes me out of scenes. Because every time I see a scene that just kind of is weirdly directed, it's like... And it's especially weird since so much of Witcher 3 is actually pretty well directed. Speaking of which...
It must suffice.
Could be, Leander. I actually like the Chamberlain, too.
Who cares if I'm clean?
Legitimately.
The gentleman will refer to His Imperial Majesty by his full title or not at all. The gentleman will be seated on the bergère.
The what now?
In that chair. Tavern, please shave the gentleman's sideburns to half an inch.
No, we're not going to get him in trouble. Not yet, Puzzle Fury. In fact, we have no character pluses out or negatives yet.
Fine. Then what? Gonna do my nails too?
If time permits. Sadly, the day is short. While the list of hygienic and cosmetic treatments that the gentleman should undergo is really rather long.
Tilt your head back, please, and sit still.
I love this scene, by the way, just in general.
And prepare to answer some questions.
I like him, too, by the way. Weirdly.
I am not certain this is the appropriate time.
I can't think of a better time. Men turn honest when they feel a blade at their throat. Morvran Vuris, commander of the Alba Division. Before they take you in to see the Emperor, Witcher, there's some information I need you to verify. It's a formality, but one that must be seen to.
Sure. Paperwork's gotta be in order.
So, Geralt of Rivia. Place of birth unknown. Parents unknown. Age unknown. All insignificant details. Let us proceed to more recent events. The siege of La Valette Castle. The fate of the defending commander, one Arian.
I don't remember the significance of that. I always forget this every time I do this. By the way, hi, Hushy Love. I know that was at the beginning of Witcher 2. but it was such an insignificant moment for me when I played through Witcher 2 that I never really remember. I'll go ahead and say I spared his life, sure.
We fought on opposing sides, true. Then we landed in the same dungeon. Arian escaped, set fire to the castle on his way out.
So that is how the blade started. Our reports suggested the dragon was responsible. Moving on. You then found shelter in charming Flotsam, and from there made your way to Vergen. My question is how?
Now, funnily enough, I went with Roche. This is a good time to mention that there's a decent amount of missing, deleted material from this game. I actually do want to talk about that one point. You guys may have noticed that I still haven't talked about the thing I wanted to talk about. Put simply, Yorvith, which I'm probably pronouncing incredibly wrong, basically isn't in this game. He was supposed to be. He was supposed to have his whole thing to him, and he isn't. So, even though I actually... Oh, I did, wow. Even though I actually did go with Roach back in Witcher 2, and I actually like Roach as a character. I like Roach, too, but I like Roach as... I like Vernon Roach in addition to Roach. But yeah, we're gonna go with Roach.
I got out of Flotsam with Vernon Roach, commander of the Blue Stripes, and...
A murderer of non-humans. We know this gentleman well, Witcher. You forge interesting alliances.
Something tells me my most interesting is yet to come. Go on, next question, before my beard grows back in.
We shall shave you again if it does. Very well. The infamous summit at Loch Muin. You were there. And once again meddled in the affairs of the mighty.
Yeah, the Scoia'tael, which I'm also pronouncing wrong, I'm sure. It wouldn't surprise me that based on what's going on, especially with the war, that they literally are running off and hiding. So, this is actually pretty clever. So you can just import a save from Witcher 2. Or you can do this cutscene. I actually have a save from Witcher 2 that I could import, but I do this cutscene every time just because I like this cutscene. It's a well-done cutscene. Scoia'tael? Whatever. You guys know me in pronunciations. I'm terrible. Yeah, Aeneas is Foltest's daughter, I'm pretty sure. I'm torn on this one. This is a weird one. Does this change anything? Because obviously we're going to go see Triss later. And Roach. The coin says we did it for Triss!
The mighty had imprisoned Triss Marigold. Ought to know I care about her, and I tend to rescue those I care about.
And so you did, handing Radovid control of the Conclave and Council of Mages in the process.
Nilfgaard recently started a war, unprovoked. So do us both a favor and stop moralizing.
The gentleman must sit still. I'm almost done.
I'm afraid I might find that difficult. Because, from what I know, shortly afterwards you watched a defective megascope blow your friend Sheila de Tanserville to bits.
I mean, she deserved it.
An old acquaintance, more like. Not so close that I felt bad for her, but close enough that I knew she deserved it.
He believes he alone knows what is good and what is evil, and that this gives him the right to dispense justice. Your comrade Letho of Gullet described you so. Quite accurate, I'd say.
My comrade, your agent.
Well, national interest calls on one to forge difficult alliances at times. Alliances with witches included.
Yeah. Because I didn't kill Letho, and I do want Letho to stay alive. I did actually spare Letho back in Witcher 2, so...
That an ongoing alliance? What's Letho up to?
I had hoped you would answer that question.
Ah, so Letho's hiding from you. Must have a good reason. Was there a shift in national interest that might have caused that? I don't know where he is. Wouldn't tell you if I did anyway. Blade or no blade to my throat.
I believe that is all. Your signature, please, affirming you stated the whole truth and nothing but the truth on pain of imprisonment or death, etc., etc. Here and here.
With these formalities seen to, I would ask the General to leave the room. We shall be choosing the gentleman's attire. An important matter, but one that does not require the General's assistance.
Shame. I might have given you some advice. So long, Geralt. Good luck with your audience.
Like I said, I like him. It's hard to even explain why. Because he's not exactly a good person. He's just, I don't know, he's an interesting character. And he's probably one of the more forthright politicians we meet in this game.
Feels more like I'm being readied for a wedding.
Were that so, I would have prepared the gentleman a frock, a tailcoat, or possibly a dinner jacket. In point of fact, the gentleman will choose from these garments.
And I also happen to like this guy, too. And I think that sentence helps to explain why. Because Geralt is quipping. He's being snarky. And the guy responds just straightforward. Like, oh, I thought I was being prepared for a wedding. Oh, no, if this were a wedding, I would prepare these other things for you. Just rolls right. He's either not catching the sarcasm, or he's just rolling with it. One of the two. Anyways.
Black, black, or black?
We do not like garish colors in Nilfgaard. The gentleman will tell me once he has chosen an outfit.
I meant to look this up, but I never actually got around to it. Isn't black basically a lot easier to mass-produce dye for? Like in older times? I heard that once and I never was actually able to verify it. What do we got here? We got that one. I'm trying to remember which is which. God, come on, camera. Oh yeah, speaking of which, I was told there's an option and I need to find it. Oh god, that's so much worse. Apparently I already had it on. Never mind. Eesh. Well, obviously there's the purple. I mean, duh, right? I feel like the right or the left ones are the ones I like. Yeah, I'm taking way too much time. We'll go with the left one, just for hazardous. Alright.
Black suits the gentleman. Does the outfit satisfy the gentleman?
Truth be told, I actually think black suits Geralt quite a bit as well. In fact, I'm hoping that some of you can help me look up some item codes, because I want to cosmetic in an outfit.
A studded doublet and a sword on my back, that's what would satisfy me. But tough, when in Nilfgaard.
Yes?
It's a saying. So what now? Powder my nose?
He looks like,
No need. The gentleman's complexion is light enough. The gentleman is to stand before the ruler of the North and South. I must confirm that he knows how to bow.
Well, it is the Nilfgaard plate, is one of the outfits I want to look at. The other is the bear, I believe, outfit. Of course, Puzzle Fury. All three games were always the ones that were donated for. Yes, Micromono, and I already have it on. Although it is a mod. It's not built in. Ah, well apparently I was completely wrong then, Loner. Like I said, I never got to look into it.
Confirm away.
Please watch. Leg extended, hand flat, head down, chin to chest. The gentleman will rehearse.
I actually don't remember which is which here.
Wrong. Once more. Leg extended.
See, the way he describes it and the way he shows it isn't the way they give the answers, which always throws me just a little bit.
The gentleman will rehearse.
Like, I could just do this. That's easy. So we'll try this one.
Lacking fluidity and grace. But we've learned to expect less of Nordlings. Come with me.
So someone in chat mentioned this, and I do love the idea of just how much emphasis they put on
The gentleman will address
the order of things when it comes to courtly nature. First of all, because I don't know, I've always found that kind of thing fascinating. I would hate it in real life. In fact, I have hated it in real life. But from a fictional perspective or from a historical perspective, I've always found the rules to be interesting when it comes to how you're supposed to behave in certain circumstances. When I was a kid, I actually took training to learn exactly how you're supposed to handle yourselves at formal dinners, for example. How many of you have ever even had to deal with that at any point in your life? I've had to deal with it like once. Twice. Both involved in, and again, both when I was pretty young. But there's like very specific rules where you're supposed to have your hands, how you're supposed to sit, what you're supposed to eat in what order and when, and how you're supposed to drink, and just all sorts of stuff. There was this whole list of things. I've forgotten most of it these days because, it's been like 25 years or so, but you get the point. No, but I did meet the President of the United States, Finger Muffin. And with what utensils, yeah. I say meet. I was at a dinner that he was also at. Clinton. Loner. It was Bill Clinton. So as you can tell, this is a while ago. But yeah, there was this whole protocol of exactly what you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to do it, and just blah, 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 blah.
Emperor only when asked to, and using the appropriate title.
Your Arch-Magnificency?
I see the gentleman is in the mood for jests. I fear the Emperor might not share his disposition. Your Majesty will suffice. Spoken loudly, clearly, and with respect.
How you're supposed to speak, when you're supposed to speak.
Imgrimi et art ketzer.
Bow before his Imperial Majesty, the white flame dancing on the graves of his foes. Emir van Emrys. Yeah, sure. Yes, Tigzar. My grandmother drilled me quite a bit.
Your Imperial Majesty.
Arer ep the orde.
Evelian namen, vatkan favort.
Hello, Mr. Dance.
I thought you bowed before no man.
Didn't want to disappoint the Chamberlain. We're friends.
If I could, really quick, I like that explanation, because that was mostly my thought, too. I mostly did it for the Chamberlain, not for Emir. I have a lot to say about Emir, but I also want to restrict what I have to say about Emir to the games, because that's what I'm running. I know that he's presented a little bit differently in the books. We'll talk about it in a minute.
Take it you didn't summon me to reminisce about the good old days, so...
Silence. My daughter Cyrilla, she's returned. And she's in danger.
I love her face there.
The Wild Hunt pursues her. You will find her and bring her to me.
Are you sure? Ciri left. Went far, far away.
Do you believe I'd drag you here in the middle of a war to discuss a rumor?
I think anyone can be wrong, even an emperor.
I had forgotten how insolent you can be. I haven't the time to convince you, nor the desire, in fact. Yennefer will do that after the audience.
How many men in your army? 20,000? 30? So why me?
You know why. Because she trusts you.
She trusts me, yes. So tell me why you're looking for her. Doubt it's about making up for all those lost years.
For reasons of state, as always. Enough of this banter. You will agree regardless. If for no other reason than because I shall pay you. More than you customarily receive for a contract. Considerably more.
Save your generosity for those whose homes your armies have razed. I'll do it for Ciri, not for your gold.
Your motives do not interest me. Only results. Yennefer will tell you the rest. This audience is finished. Mererid! Take him to the sorceress.
Amir has always struck me as the kind of politician that I
Follow me, if the gentleman...
enjoy as a character, but I can't quite say that I like him in the strictest sense of the words, because he's kind of a horrible person, but he's the kind of leader that I can at least respect. He reminds me, and I know this sounds like a strange comparison, but he reminds me in many ways of Arcturus Mengsk. Someone who is not a good person, but is someone who is very driven and very willful and very results-oriented, which, you know...
Oh, welcome. Pay close attention. Hopefully you'll learn something.
Kind of like, you know, Swerby, for example. Swerby's very results-oriented. Did that work?
Please keep close. There are many honorable guests in the palace, whom the gentleman...
disgusts.
...need not bother.
Mages, loner, or simply sorceress.
And it's past noon. Calm yourself.
Yeah, probably, Corellis. We'll wait for it.
Do you know who you're talking to, soldier? I'm Herivard the Second,
The scene
Prince
has
of
fallen
Elander.
over
Not only am I made to wait here like some supplicant.
So we're getting a surprising amount of world building as we walk through here, which is awesome. I know it's not Corellis. It's like multiple pieces. They call this the Royal Garden? Seems the horticultural arts are still in their infancy in the north. I should actually talk to... Where is he? Where is he? I missed him. He was back here. Sorry, Myriad. Give me a sec, Myriad. God, I don't know how to pronounce your freaking name. These days it's unwise for small realms to remain fully independent. Take Toussaint.
Why not join in instead?
We're discussing neutrality. How difficult it is to preserve.
Know a thing or two about that.
Care to explain?
Never changes. I try to stay out of things, stand aside. Then comes an urgent summons, and an offer I can't refuse. Enough about that. Mind if we change the subject? So, talk to the Emperor.
Why did he summon you?
So not even you know.
No. But I wager it's an ordinary witcher's contract.
Mm-hmm. Some werebubs. See ya.
Soon, mind you.
There, okay. Now I need to go see that donation from Swerby. Oh no. Okay. Well, thank you, Swerby. Kind of thank you, sort of thank you. Thank you for the support. There we go. We'll say that. I mean that. Thank you very much, Swerby. Much appreciated. I don't want to play that game. Okay, whatever. We'll see. Where, Bobs? Dun dun dun. What, you mean like this? If I set it up right, the alt-tabbing works okay. It just never works, good. It's just a game that's clearly designed not to be played windowed. There we go. And of course it pauses each time I do it.
He should see me to retrieve his possessions.
Well sharpened yet. Yes? Then transcribe. The true authority in Novigrad is not the city council or the merchants' guild, but the Church of the Eternal Fire and the criminal underworld. At times it is difficult to tell the one from the other. They both display a similar ruthlessness and cynicism that...
Please wait, Your Excellency. I'm falling behind.
You know what? I'll write the report myself. You'll need only prepare a clean draft. In triplicate.
Speaking of characters I like...
A shame I have no time.
It's weird how many Nilfgaardian characters I tend to enjoy, but whatever, as they say. No, let me talk to the ambassador. No! Oh well.
Geralt, that tunic. You look positively smashing.
Dying to take it off.
I'd consider that a proposition under different circumstances. One I might even take you up on. But we've matters to attend to. Now do you understand why I'm at Emir's court?
Uh-huh. And seems we're in the same boat now. Ciri, she's really back? No chance he's mistaken?
Look, that's more or less what she looks like now. Or so our agents claim. Our little witch has grown into a young lady.
So... I mentioned that we're going with Yennefer this time through, and you guys, of course, went to war, as is your purview. No, Tigzar. Only if you ask first, though. That's usually how that works. So if you say, hey, can I post a link? I'll be like, yeah, sure. Now, if you post a link to spam or viruses, then yeah, you're going to get banned forever and ever and ever. So don't do that. One of the things I like about Yennefer is that she's the mother to Ciri. Yes, you may, Tigzar. I know that sounds strange, but... I mean, it's not like Triss doesn't care about Yennefer. Or, excuse me, Triss doesn't care about Ciri. But Yennefer is her mother in basically every functional way. And, of course, Geralt is her father in every functional way. And so it just kind of makes sense to me that that triad slips together, if that makes any sense.
How about that? She's grown up.
It's been years since you trained together at Kaer Morhen. A great deal has changed.
You haven't? Not a bit?
I missed those awkward compliments of yours. But let's focus on Ciri, all right?
Right. Emir said the Wild Hunt's after her. I'd find that hard to believe before what happened yesterday. How did they track us down?
Because of me. You see, I've spent months searching for Ciri, using locating spells, haruspicy, geomancy, anything, really. I knew the Wild Hunt might sense it, perhaps even find me, but I thought I'd tricked them.
Well, guess you were wrong.
I've sensed them on my trail, hunting me, for some time. If not for you and Emir's soldiers, they'd have gotten what they were after. I can't risk another encounter like that. It's time to put away the magic, turn to more traditional methods. To the best tracker I know. You must find her, Geralt, before the Wild Hunt does.
I mean, you don't really have to tell me that.
The Wild Hunt? What could it want from Ciri?
I've no clue, Geralt. Might have written them to ask, but I don't have their address. I know as much as you do. It must be about her blood. Her gift. As for what the Hunt wishes to do with that gift, I'd prefer not to think about it, really.
So where's Ciri been seen, exactly?
In two places. Velen and Novigrad. The trail in Velen is most promising. You should make that your first stop. Ask for a merchant named Hendrik at the inn at the crossroads. One of the Emperor's agents. He should get in touch with you.
That's it? No passwords? Secret handshakes?
None. Sorry to spoil your fun, your boyhood fantasies about the crafts of the trade. All we have in Novigrad are unconfirmed reports, rumors, but there you will have the help of our mutual acquaintance. Triss Merigold. Apparently she's got a cozy flat on the main square.
Sure she'll be delighted to see me. What about you? What will you do?
I shall sail for Skellige. There was a magic explosion there recently, blew half a forest down. I believe this had something to do with Ciri. I'll be in Caer Trold. Join me there once you've learned something.
What is the Wild Hunt? A bunch of elves.
One thing before we go. Why didn't you contact me? Didn't need me? Didn't even want to see me?
I didn't want to spoil things. I'd heard you and Triss made a great couple.
Yen, I'd lost my memory.
Really? That's your excuse? Let's drop it, all right? It's not what you think, or it helped me understand how much I love you. I don't wish to hear it. Any of it.
What irritates me about that is that he did actually lose his memory. But then again, considering he was supposed to have actually died, and then the game just kind of brought him back.
Guess this means we need to split up again. Not my preference, but I understand. Clock's ticking.
It is indeed. So why don't I teleport you to Vel and get you there at once?
Not gonna happen. I'll go on horseback, as soon as I can get changed.
Have it your way? Oh, and you really look quite dashing in black velvet.
Think so? Maybe I can have some of my armor lined with it. Good luck, Yen.
Same to you. And if you wish to learn what's happened in the world while you and Vesemir roamed the wilderness, talk to Ambassador Varatra. That's him over there. And Geralt, I know it's wartime, but try not to be a hero, all right? Just check those leads and come back to me, in one piece. I shall be waiting.
Oh, hey, a portal. Whee! Ah!
Your dedication will be rewarded.
Really? You're just gonna put me here? Oh, thanks. Thanks. Alright, who was that? It was Vigilant! Vigilant says that I hate you, Lore. And that's why I continuously donate towards a game that you like to play. Although when we get there, we're gonna have to decide which version of the game we play. I guess we could play both? But how do we rate a game when there's two versions of the game which are wildly different in quality? It's gonna be an interesting discussion once we get there. So you gotta be thinking about that, Vigilant. Because we're gonna get there someday. Thank you very much as always, Vigilant. So, to be clear, I was being a little dismissive of the Wild Hunt. To describe the Wild Hunt from the perspective of an amateur who only really knows the games, the Wild Hunt are the vanguard of a conquering elven empire, which is a dimensional hopping empire. They like to go clunk, clunk from, nation to nation, world to world. Now, it can and has been argued extensively how much of a threat I can't remember their proper term, actually pose to the world of Witcher. I've heard many people debate that back and forth. I've seen little mini wars start in my own comment section about that exact point. So I'm not willing to say an exact label on specifically how threatening they really are. Either way, they also have the great advantage of having the... what are they called? The navigators, basically. That's, in my opinion, the single greatest advantage of the Wild Hunt, the navigators. Because otherwise they're just another elven army. Okay. I mean, it's not exactly like they're not threatening, but they're not really world-ending, right? But they do have those navigators, and navigators allow them to dimensionally. That's how they get around. This is something that will be discussed in this very game later, and we'll probably bring it up when we get there. But the point being, that is a pretty significant advantage if we're being honest with ourselves. Hello, Larian. Warbly. You know, lots of people have complained here and there about warbly music on when I'm streaming my games. I'm not 100% sure what causes that. I think it's just because I have low latency mode on. That's the best theory I've been able to come up with. To be clear, that's Twitch. It is always Twitch when that happens. 100% of the time. Just want to be very clear about that. Okay, so hang on. So we got the donation from Vigilant, which I wrote down. Vigilant's awesome. And then we go back to the game.
What do you mean?
Ambassador Varatra? Yennefer suggested I ask you about current events, the war and so on.
Of course. The Emperor's servants should keep no secrets from each other. If you will, let us approach the map.
So this is completely optional, and actually a pretty good examination of the situation as of this moment in time. They've discussed, through fairly good exposition, the nature of what's going on and the war and all of that up to this point. But this right here just lays it all out, and it's fairly well done in my opinion.
How's the war going? I mean, apart from the fact that Nilfgaard's triumph is imminent.
I assume this to be a private conversation. We've no witnesses, so let's dispense with the propaganda, even that shrouded in irony. Our offensive was going splendidly until winter came. Edirn was in such disarray that we encountered no resistance. We had reached the Pontar before the first snows. Only a weakened Kedwin remained, and Radovid's Redania, which had ignored the rest of the North's pleas for help. We thought they'd sue for peace, perhaps even submit to vassalization. We waited for spring, certain of victory.
Radovid? Submit?
Yes, a vain hope, I agree. Radovid sent no peace envoys, nor did he advance on our positions. Instead, he trudged over the snow-bound Kestrel Mountains and attacked Kedwin, his ally. This attack took the Kedweni by surprise. They were still mourning the loss of their king. Rudderless and dejected, they laid down their arms after a few lost skirmishes and joined Radovid. And so by spring, instead of two weak enemies, we had only one powerful one.
Basically, yes, Magister. So I'm going to stop here for just a second. Huthor asks, and I want to ask this out loud, how do you feel about Kedwin being conquered off-screen, no matter what you did in Witcher 2? That's a tough question, if we're being completely honest. Because from a purely storytelling perspective, it makes sense. Like, if this was just a book or a show or a movie, yeah, okay, sure. But given the nature of games and choices, it's a little trickier there. Now, to be clear, I am accepting of it. Mostly because I understand how difficult it is to have branching narrative. We've actually talked about this several times when it comes to Mass Effect, because it's an extensive topic when it comes to Mass Effect. We talked about this with Dragon Age as well. There's only so far you can branch a narrative, realistically speaking, on a large-scale project like this. And the more choices you allow, the larger scale the branches, the more difficult it is actually to accomplish. I've gone on record before of saying that Dragon Age Inquisition was astonishingly branching when it comes to its narrative, because there's actually a lot that can change based on your actions in 1 and 2. But even in Inquisition, the core plotline stayed pretty much unified. Nothing really changes there. Which brings me to this game. It feels clear that they hadn't really envisioned a scenario in which they could have the core storyline stay functionally the same and have one timeline in which Radovid... God, that really is a big bruise. One timeline in which Radovid lives, or excuse me, in which Henselt lives, and one in which Henselt does not, and the nature of how that would affect the war in the north. What I find most interesting about that is if you zoom the camera out a little bit and pay attention, you'll notice that you do have a choice as to who wins this war in this game. Now, please correct me if I'm wrong, but last I checked, we decide that. We, the players, decide who wins this war. based on our actions with Dijkstra, specifically, and Roach. And, of course, Radovid. Okay, so I am right. I am right about that. This is why this isn't a full lore run, because there's some details I'm not actually up to date on. That's why I keep asking questions about this sort of thing. So, they do put upon the player the choice of how the war goes. They just don't put the choice of how the war went in the player's hands. That's why I'm okay with it, but I'm also not... I don't embrace it, if that makes any sense. It's kind of a, alright, sure. Now, Huther says, do you think if Henselt lives as presented, he would have just folded so thoroughly? That's a very interesting question. Basically, no, is my answer. I actually read up on this at one point, and I forget exactly where that went. But the long and the short of it is, Henselt is kind of a bullyish... He's a medieval king. He is a textbook medieval king. And all of the horribleness and forthrightfulness and bluntness and ruthlessness that implies. That is so strange, Micromano. I really don't know why Twitch does that, like I said. Anyways. So, Henselt folding. Now, that being stated, from what I understand, and again, I could be wrong here, the idea was there was a specific battle where they lured Henselt out into a conflict and specifically targeted Henselt to kill him in that fight, if you allow Henselt to live back in Witcher 2. I could be wrong about that, but I have read about this, so again, I'm going off of like second-hand or third-hand information here. The idea as presented is that Henselt is a frontline king. He's a king who leads on the front line of the battlefield, and there are advantages to that, but as we've discussed several times on this very show, there are massive disadvantages to that too, especially when you are the king. The king dying on a battlefield means that's kind of the end of that battle, for your side anyways. And so that's apparently what happened. Henselt led from the front, was killed, and that was it, and then Radovid just the rest of it. My point is, I think at least they put some effort into trying explaining it away, and still allow us to have some impact on the overall the overall situation in this game, which is why I'm kind of okay with it. Yeah, Foltest, you're right. Foltest did the exact same thing. That's true. So, anyways,
that admiration I hear in your voice.
Radovid is our foe, but I cannot deny he is clever. He played us for fools, particularly dense ones at that. Returning to the war, this spring there was a massive battle in the marshes of Velen. Massive, yet indecisive. Both sides suffered enormous losses, unprecedented even. Radovid has retreated across the Pontar. He's safe for now, until reinforcements arrive from the south. Then Emperor Emir var Emrys will deal with him once and for all.
Couldn't you just go home? Save everyone a lot of marching, not to mention a few human lives.
I'm afraid the stakes are too high to fold now. We can only go all in.
And what's funny about that is Geralt's perspective. That's a great exchange right there. Geralt's perspective is the perspective of the individual. The ambassador's perspective is this perspective of the nation. Because he's right. If you declare war as a nation on another nation, fight several major battles, and then try to peace out, the only way to get out of that is under two circumstances. Either some kind of concession/surrender, or being willing to turn over a fairly large amount of treasure to the other side. Treasure right now that Nilfgaard, well, isn't really doing great on, as we'll find out over the course of this game. And of course, that's ignoring the cultural and political side of things. The fact that certain aspect... Basically, there's some political infighting amongst Nilfgaard right now, which is debating whether or not this war should be a thing, and whether it's worth it or not. And this is something that Emir's opponents within the aristocracy and the politicians of the Nilfgaardians are using as a way to go against him, to destabilize his power base. So, you can see why both men do have a valid point. From the, it would be like, you know what, let's just go home. But if you start a war and then just peace out, that's bad. At a national level, at a political level. So, yeah, I'm not trying to excuse Nilfgaard, to be clear. They did start this war functionally unprovoked, mostly as a political maneuver. But now that the war has been started, you know, there's not much that can be done.
How do things look in Velen?
As bad as ever. Perhaps worse. This land never flowed with milk and honey, and now it flows with blood. Armies have swept through it several times, trampling fields, looting granaries, burning villages. Famine grips the populace.
So how's ruling that earthly paradise going for you?
Not well, to be honest. Our forces are spread thin as it is, and Velen is chiefly swampy forests that are difficult to control. We've had several patrols never return to their camps. Thus, we've temporarily delegated authority in this region to a certain Nordling, a former low-ranking officer in the Temerian army, one Philip Strenger, better known by his nom de guerre, the Bloody Baron. I advise you well. Avoid him.
Strenger is a very interesting character. And that's all I'm going to say about that right now.
Any news from Novigrad? Is the free city still free?
Yes, although everyone knows this won't last. Radovid is in Oxenfurt, and the Emperor is here in Vizima, at Novigrad's doorstep, both. And both require coin and ships. Novigrad can provide these. Which is why the mood in the city is rather, well, on edge.
Meaning?
How do men deal with fear? They seek reassurance and scapegoats. The Church of the Eternal Fire understands this perfectly, and so it promises to improve the lives of its flock by pointing out the guilty. Who started the war? Who profits from it? Why, it's obvious. Mages, elves, dwarves, in a word, any and all deviants. I've been stationed in Novigrad for 13 years. First as a consul, then as ambassador. I've seen a great deal. Cruelty, cynicism, greed. But what is happening there now concerns me greatly.
To be clear, the Church of the Blah Blah can go to freaking hell. Seriously. I've mentioned before, and I mean this sincerely, that if you're going to write a story that's predominantly gray, which is a good thing, of course, there needs to be a black and there needs to be a white. There needs to be contrast to help give the gray context. That's just my opinion, and I know not everyone agrees with that. The Church of the Evil Bastards are the black here. They are evil. Just evil. Horrible, disgusting, depraved, nightmarish, monstrous beings. They help give some contrast to many of the other characters we encounter. Even Dijkstra, who is someone who, I remind you, betrays us and tries to kill us, is nowhere near as bad as those bastards.
What's new in Skellige?
Nothing. The islanders pride themselves on that, don't they? Doing everything according to tradition, as their forefathers did. And like their forefathers, they quarrel with each other, pillage, occasionally attack our transports. This is cumbersome, but nothing more. Skellige has always been a footnote to history, and so it shall remain.
Sound awfully confident. What if King Bran manages to unite the Jarls? Lead all the clans against your fleet?
King Bran is a feeble old man. From what I know, he barely remembers the names of his own vassals. Uniting all might prove difficult.
True enough.
Thanks for your help.
Think nothing of it. May the great sun light your path.
If I could say one other thing, just as a personal note, because several people in chat mentioned this too. The game goes out of its way to show us several Nilfgaardians in a less than horrible light. I wonder how much of that was deliberate on behalf of the writers. Because it does help to gray out the Nilfgaardians, especially in, as I mentioned before, the wake of Witcher 1 and Witcher 2, which portrayed them in a universally negative light. So this is a way to help turn them into more of a nation and less of a Nazi kind of a group. I do also want to add one other personal touch here. I personally, individually, tend to respond a lot better towards honesty. There's various character traits that I tend to respond well to, and that's one of the biggest one. A lot of the Nilfgaardians we encounter are brutally, openly honest with us. And I find that interesting as a choice, because you can't say the same about a lot of other entities or groups within this setting. I'm pretty sure it's deliberate too, but again, I don't know. I can only speculate.
How might I serve the gentleman?
By returning my things.
Citrus and cloves. The fragrance will keep the gentleman's robes fresh somewhat longer.
Thanks, bunches.
The Emperor is not known for his patience. He wants his daughter back safe and sound, as soon as possible.
Yeah, mentioned something of the sort. So long.
Is it true? More than women bathe once every 3 moons?
I just want to test something really quick here.
Wouldn't mind a few rounds of cards.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's good. Yep, we're good. Looks like it worked. Ah, you beat me. I think that worked. I mean, we got money out of it, so I'm assuming it worked. Oh God, Cashel, that'd be horrifying. I thought I was supposed to get a card too. Did I get the card? I didn't even see getting the card. Ah, whatever. I'll take your word on it. I just saw getting the money. Hey, Revan. Hey, Eitri. Oh, making me sit up. Ah, you're horrible to an old man. Thank you very much, Eitri. As ever and as always, appreciate those subs. Thank you. Now, if you know what you want to put that towards, well then. Ah, yes, the hanging tree. I mentioned this earlier. Tree 19. Jade Empire. So noted. So yeah, the hanging tree is... I mean, look at that. What do I even need to add to that? Hang on, Tigzar, hang on. Me too, Corrales. Okay. Thank you for purchasing Heart of Stone. Thanks. Thank you for... Yep. Thank you for purchasing Blood and Wine. We done? We're done? Okay, we're done. So we'll just get us a good thing here. Good view of this. Yep. This is definitely not a terrible thing. To my knowledge, in real-life history, hanging trees were only a thing under special circumstances. So in other words, they weren't normal. And if that makes any sense. Alright, so... it looks like none of it actually came through, which that doesn't surprise me too much. So let's try this. See if that works. Nope. Hang on. No, I'm typing it right. Oh yeah, big ore is definitely a special circumstance. No argument there. Well, that worked. Oh, it has a level requirement? Oh, come on! Oh, there it is. I just noticed the item received thing. That was really quick, too. There it is. That one didn't work. Oh, because I screwed up. There we go. Nope. What did I mess up there? Oh, space. I spelled that right. That didn't work either. No, that's terrible typing. Of course I'm cheating, Console Hot. Why wouldn't I cheat? What is wrong with you? Anyways. So we'll wear this for right now. Because it looks awesome. Although I really like those gauntlets. So much that I tend to wear those gauntlets with everything. Even with the bear outfit. That's not the armor I wanted. There's one that looks more like the heavy plate that they wear. I do like the bear chest piece, though. It's probably one of my favorite BPs in the game. I've always been fond of this kind of overcoat look when it comes to male fashion. Oh yeah, I also got some weapons. Sure, why not? Cosmetics. It's all cosmetics. That's nice. I don't actually like this one, though. It's all weird looking. Look at that. There's a term for that. I can't think of it. Francisca? I don't know. Or flamberge. That sounds more accurate. Be this one. There it is. Now there's some armor out there. But no, we'll use the bear one. I don't remember how to dye things. Does anyone remember how to dye things in this game? It's been a while. Let's see. You dye stuff in Tucson. I was gonna say, you could just get a dye, right? Why don't I just get a dye and then use it? There's a sword, a steel sword he uses that I really like. Is this it? It had a good guard. I remember that. I'm looking. Give me a second. This might be it. What's the item code? There's an item code, right? There's no item code. This is useless to me. How do I find... Where are you finding the item codes? 'Cause I looked in the wiki and it doesn't list it. I like how Corrales automatically knows the only two colors I want to dye. Alright, let's see what this looks like. White. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Yes, that's great. It's great. It's wonderful. That's so fantastic. Okay. That didn't look any different. Still doesn't look any different. Oh, I see what's changing. Oh, okay, okay. I think we'll go with black on that. Well, what's the code for it, Loner? Oh, it's a mod. Never mind. Gotcha. I kind of like that. Okay, okay. Not too shabby. How do I find this item code? I'm trying to find the item code for... Oh, okay, sure, we'll just do that. A sword. That's the silver sword. Now that's a great silver sword. I love that silver sword. I mean, look at that thing. That is a beauty. Look at that. Look at that. But no, what I want is a better steel sword, because I don't like the curved look. I never have. What do we got here? Oh, for God's sakes. Fine. There's a sword called Wolf, which I wanted to see. I'll look for that in a minute. Oh, I forgot the capital H. There we go. We're across level 46! Yeesh! Okay, that is nice. Looks like a scimitar. Look at that thing. I like the hilt, too. Very basic. But very nice lines on that. I like that. Alright, so let's see if I can find... Oh, is this it? This would be funny if this is it. Whoop, I can spell. Ah! That is it. That's Wolf? Look at that thing. What in the world? What am I doing wrong here? Garrel. God damn it. I cannot type this morning. Now that's your typical... Look at that thing! Now that... Oh, there's a term for that. It's like a show-off sword, right? I can't think of what the term is for that. That's French. Ceremonial? Yeah, that works. That works. Geralf. Geralf. Oh my god. I don't know, Corrales. I think I'm pretty sold on this silver sword. That is an awesome sword. I love that thing. In case you didn't even notice, there's even little nubs on the handle to help catch things as you're deflected. It's a great sword. Anyways. It's not completely useless. It's only useless in combat. $150 armor piercing, 50% crit hit chance, 50%. Excuse me, 50% crit hit bonus, 15% crit hit chance. 3 empty slots, and that's it. Oh god. All hand guard all the time. Wish I could kind of see the sword itself at a better angle. Ooh, oh, I like that. The blade itself is kind of dull there. It's even one of the rounded edges, or rounded points, excuse me. But I do like that handguard. What do you guys think? I'm sold on this. I'm not changing this. This is just what we're using. Geralt. Roger Eric the Hart Bellegarde sword. The Gwai here. Well, do you have the code for it, Loner? Hang on, let me see if I can find it. Gwai here. Apparently it's just Gwai here. Go figure. Oh, this is like the earlier one we had. The wolf sword. I'm not sure what to make of that. Do you see that? One part of the handle curves one way and one part of the handle curves the other way. And by handle, I mean the guard. Oh god, I'm using the wrong terminology, aren't I? That thing! And of course, it's got a see-through part of the way. It's got to have see-through. It's not a sword if it doesn't have see-through. Nope, that didn't work. Wolf, school, steel, sword, 3. Yep, nope, I did the terminal. So this isn't working for whatever reason, Uthor. Roach is like, would you hurry up? God! Oh, there's an enemy right here. Hey, what's up? Get away from my horse. So anyways, sorry about that, Roach. I was cosmeticking, okay? It's very important to play Fashion Souls. The combat what, upon a time? Goofiest crossbow? Oh, geez, I don't know. What do we got here? There's an Ophir crossbow, Bear School crossbow, an Nilfgaardian crossbow. I don't know. I don't know what the crossbows look like. What's a good crossbow? welcome to the fashion part of the stream. I'm your host, the Fashion Runner. What is that? Because that looks like a good crossbow. I have no idea who Thor. Apparently, I don't have the Nilfgaardian DLC. Speaking of which, let's fix that really quick. Save. Exit game forever. Sorry, guys, we're done. We're never playing the game ever again. I give up. DLC. What are we? What do we not have equipped here or installed? We apparently don't have New Game Plus installed. That's funny. Hang on, what else do we have here? There should be a faster way to do this. We have Cat and Wolf Play installed. Of course we do. We do not have Wolf School Gear installed, apparently. These are free DLCs. Why don't they just install? I'd have to go do this manually, each DLC, one by one. See, this is why Epic Store is infinitely better than Steam. This is a joke. Do not take this seriously. Elite Crossbow Set. Hey! There's the crossbow. I was just eyeballing. Oops. There's apparently a Temerian armor set, which we're not getting, because screw that. There it is. There. Are we all downloaded? Are we all up to date? Nope, it's still downloading. There we go. Okay, we should be good now. Dramatic pause. I would talk over this section, but I installed a mod specifically to ensure it would never happen again. We should exit Discord while we're doing this. Okay. You are overburdened. You are carrying way too many swords and armor, sir. Yeah, there we go. That's pretty simple, but I kind of like that. It's not bad. It's not bad. Now I need the Nilfgaardian things. Oh, which means I gotta open Discord again. Hang on. I just closed Discord. But what kind of Pop-Tarts, Alex? Hang on. That's not bad. I kind of like that. A little simple, but again, I like it. That might be my favorite steel so far. Agreed, Casual. There's a reason it's my background for so many things. I mean, look at that. Gaze upon perfection! Anyways. Okay, so, hang on. So we need to move over here. I officially cannot see chat. Chat can go wild. Anyone found going wild will be flogged to death. For the greater good. No? Didn't get the crossbow. Hey, sour cookie. Yes. Yes! Behold the power of Nilf... I actually do like that. That, unironically, unjokingly, looks pretty cool to me. Granted, I'm a sucker for black and white, but seriously, look at that. Nothing can beat these gauntlets, though. Where are they? Where are they? Yeah, the checker thing on the pants I could do without. I'll be honest about that. So we could swap out the pants with... Actually... that. What do you think? I have given in to the Nilfgaard side of the Force. How do I equip stuff to Roach? Here we go. Trophies. How do you look, Roach? You look amazing! Who's a good girl? He's a girl, right? Who's a good girl? There's still that... Get that griffin head off there. There we go. That is much better. You have an ability point, did you know? You have an ability point? Yeah, that's great. I should probably spend some of these at some point. Later. Ah! Okay. Yeah, I know, there's been multiple Roaches. But there's only one Roach for me. And it's the one voiced by, I can't remember his name, but he's like a comedic actor or whatever. Buy the everything. Oh, right. With character stuff. What I really want to do is find one last item. Give me a moment. Which is actually the crossbow, which didn't come in. Why is the crossbow not coming in? That's actually what I want. Maybe if we just go to the DLC thing, maybe that'll work. Nope. Alright, hang on, hang on. Let's try... Apparently, Nilfgaardian crossbow is actually it. Am I spelling it wrong? Nilfgaardian... Oh, I am spelling it wrong. This should be lowercase. There we go. Where's my crossbow? Is that it? Nope. Where's my crossbow? Okay. Well, there's always DLC... 13, was it? No. Why do I not want to do that, Alex? Behold! Geralt of Beard. Sorry. DLC 13. Yeah. This needs to be capitalized again. There she is. That's not what I wanted to equip. That's... Sorry, Roach. I'm sorry. Sorry. There we go. That is, in fact, the specific crossbow I wanted. Go figure. It's the Nilfgaardian one. I guess the Nilfgaardians just make the best of everything, really. What? I just want to see one thing really quick here. Is it this one? Yeah, I might hold on to that for later. No, Hazardous, you're not allowed to gush about this game. This is an anti-gush run. Where'd my other outfit go? There it is. Alright, now we're massively overburdened here. We need to find a merchant and sell stuff. We need to save is what we need to do. Now that we got all that squared away. Now that we look fabulous.
Faster.
I meant slower. Damn it. So, okay. It's time to admit something to you guys. I don't know how I want to do the rest of the game. There's a lot of stuff to do. Like, there's a lot of stuff to do. Look at this. Behold! Seriously, there's a lot of content here. And I haven't really decided how I want to progress through it. So, I do have an idea. We'll see. Why is that? Okay, that's nice. Why are tutorials showing up again?
Go, go.
Go to Skellige first. I mean, I could. Oh my god, Geralt. Oh yeah, speaking of which, actually, I am going to add that to the potential aggregate negatives. While we're giving negatives to this game for being the worst game ever made. Alright, I think that's what we agreed on. This is the worst game ever made. That does sound like a good idea, Alex. I do like killing evil religious people. I suppose that's not fair. I just like killing evil people. They make a lovely crunching sound when you... Two parts of an aggregate negative. I've need of a man to give me and my family across the Prontar. 5 of us in all, me, my wife, 3 young'uns, but they's calm, not the crying or yelling sort. Won't give us away to the soldiers. I'm not rich, but whatever I've got, I'll give. In fact, I'll take on a debt to go into someone's service. Anything, long as it gets me out of Velen, please! Good folk, if you see any wonders hanging in the woods, such as treats fit for Yuletime, dangling off of branches, ginger bakings, honeyed apples, fritters, or pies, then no matter how fierce your belly growls, turn back. Whoever partakes of those treats is never seen amongst the living again. Watch what you say. The trees have ears. Oh, right. I need to give a plus to the game. Kind folk, for lack of better fare, I fed my young'uns pancakes made of ground acorn. Poor tykes have laid on straw for 3 days since. Their bellies growing something awful. Getting sick and crying without end. If you know how to help, come to my hut. I've naught to give in return but a warm word and a prayer of thanks. Yeah, sure. In lonely woods, screams carry long. Shadows creep in far dark dale. Beware ye then the grove's wild song, or in the wild will end your tale. Good people, take pity and hear my plea. My wife, Hannah, she's missing. A few days ago she went into the woods and hasn't yet returned. I'm near out of my wits with worry, and will pay any price to the man who brings her back to me, or at least tells me where to look for her. Yeah, we'll take that one too. The Hunter quest, also known as one of the first quests I did in this game, when I was playing this for the first time. Roach, you just look amazing. I just want you to know that. Okay, so, first and foremost. Oh my goodness.
Bar your windows tight. Nail an iron stud in the door frame. If only I had milk to leave at the doorstep, that'd be sure to keep the demons out together.
Anyone all in Nilfgaard's long road?
As innocent as a bunch of
Don't
lilies.
seem willingly.
Look, I'm just saying that the Nilfgaardians are the best thing ever. That's not true. We all know that's the Horde.
Step away. Chaplain's praying, can't you see?
What do you want?
Rejoice, for even a creature as depraved and base in nature as you can serve the glory of the eternal fire. Someone must see to the corpses on the battlefield. Necrophages defile those not already rotting in mass graves. This is not right.
That's to be my good deed for the day?
A handsomely profitable one, I might add. I know your kind don't work for free.
All right, I'll take care of it.
This will count amongst your merits. The more good one works in life, the more hallowed things are. Yes, splendid. Here are the holy oils. Dash generously and set alight, understood? I wish it to flare up to the sky, for the glory of the eternal fire and all that.
Once I've incinerated the bodies, where'll I find you?
I shall be near the bridge to Novigrad.
Oh no, the voice acting really is just phenomenal throughout, as I've pointed out several times. And we'll assuredly get at least one more positive later. Some of you may not remember this. You remember Gavella Gland Lady?
Damn, you're ugly.
When I was doing her quest for the first time, I came close to accurately judging her intentions. Kiera Gland, I like that. And her, where she was going with it, what she was after. Just based on how she was talking. Just based on the voice directing and the voice acting and nothing else. I'm not bragging when I say that. I'm gushing about how much you can infer from how they talk. Because as it turns out, I was mostly right. Like, I didn't have it exactly right, obviously, but, you know, I got most of the breadth of what she was going after correct. And apparently, and I found this out much later, if you do help her to get in good with Radovid, Radovid kills her. You know, because he's Radovid. Where am I? Am I going the right way? No, I'm totally going the right way. Yeah. So we are going to not get her killed. We are going to kill Radovid, though, in this playthrough, because of course we are. Why wouldn't you kill Radovid? Why would anyone ever not kill Radovid? For most trash, I'm just going to do that, by the way. I just want to make that very clear. Just kind of pushing through. Really, Duncan? Alright. Tell you what, Duncan. I'm going to go ahead and inform Radovid that you're an alchemist and you support his cause. I'm going to send you to him. Not that I'm aware of, Dream Whisperer. I could be wrong. I mean, this at least is an AoE. Stupid evil churches. So there's actually a mod to increase your movement speed. I was debating if I wanted to pick it up or not. What do you guys think? Should I go ahead and spring for it? That's true, Skystrax. Radovid's like, no, wait, I'm insane. And it's like, you know what? You're right. Then he dies just like this. The end. Radovid's the only one who could save the North. Now, I could be wrong. But couldn't Dijkstra do that too? I could be mistaken on that point. But isn't there a way to, basically side with Dijkstra and make that happen? We're not doing that, of course. Why the hell would we do that? I like Roach. Hang on, so we're going to save. Is the North really worth saving? Now, that is a fascinating question. What do you think? Vote now. There we go. Found a mod. Let's see if it works. Fair, Leander. Sure, whatever. Alright, let's see if this works. What in the world? Hate it when they do that. You get those auto dialer calls and they leave 1 second of a voicemail. Hate that crap. I love that. You can calm your horse with the Axie sign. Translation. You can calm your horse with mind control. This does not feel faster. At all. Hang on. What are you doing wrong? What's the issue here? Well, that doesn't help at all. Is there just a console command to change move speed? Because that would be a lot simpler. That'd be great. In the meantime, let's do a really horrible quest. Like I said, this was like the first quest I did when I played this game for the first time. It was like, main quest! And I walked into town, I was like, oh, hey, there's a quest there. And this, I just beelined for this.
Looking for a hunter named Neelan.
Found him. What do you want?
Well, what I want is to destroy everything and everyone. But failing that...
Hear about your notice. I'm a witcher. When do you last see your wife?
5 days passed, 'fore dawn. On my way out to hunt, she were asleep. I come back, found no sign of her.
Notice anything strange? Maybe her behavior?
No, she were her happy, smiling self. Nothing different of late. She's not run off, if that's what you're asking.
Maybe she went to the neighboring village, forgot to tell you.
No, my sister were never gone this long before.
Tried looking for her?
Asked round the village, none saw her go. She must have left when they were still sleeping. Told her time and again not to wander off on her own. She never listened.
I mustered some menfolk to scour the woods. Nothing.
I'll look in the woods. You might have missed something. Ask around, too. She have any friends?
Hannah keeps to herself mostly. Watches the blacksmith's young'uns at times. And in the village, Glenna, the butcher's wife, she likes her best.
Thanks. I'll try to find her. but no promises.
So you caught that, right? It's the first moment at which she slips up, automatically referring to her in the past tense. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean anything untoward. It could just mean that she's already given up on her sister. But they do throw that in there, which is a nice touch.
Greetings, you Glenna.
Aye. But gristle and marrow's all I'm willing to sell, and you'll have to wait till I'm done carving it.
You the butcher's wife?
Butcher? Please. Might have called him a butcher when we lived in the shade of Novigrad's walls. Now he deals in carrion, fallen animals. Their bones still fit for soup. So, buying something?
Wanted to talk to you about Hannah. Hear you were friendly.
She come by at times? We talk?
She seems strange lately. Any idea where she might have gone?
Strange. No? A cheerful soul always. If I'm to judge, it's the wolves got her. Been howling the nights through lately. Even the Baron's men are feared to come by. Hannah must have gone to the wood to gather mushrooms, maybe. Strayed too deep and the howlers got her.
Thanks. Farewell.
Did we do it? Did we make it? Oh my god, Myron, you're killing me. Oh. I wonder I'm in so much pain every day. It's because Myron keeps donating. Oh. I really am really sore today. I don't even know why. Thank you, Myron. Pretty sure it was Myron. Let me double check that. We just scroll way up here. There we go. Yep, nope, it was Myron. It was Myron. Ah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you very, very much, Myron. As ever. As always, I do appreciate it. But not Gwai here. Gwai here is the best. Or, I mean, the worst. Or, shoot, I forgot where I was going with that. Thank you so much, guys. To Gwai here, and to Myron, 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 and to Myron. Now, what I can't help but notice is neither of you have told me what you want to put that towards. I'm afraid there's going to be stabbing in the future. What the heck is Valhalla? I gotta look this up. Hang on. Stream's got to be on pause. Oh, that's VA11 Hall A. Gotcha. That's what you mean, right? That's already on the thing. That's already on the list. Because, yeah. I'm going to leave Discord again here. Now I gotta wait for Gwai here to confirm that that is in fact what he meant. Meanwhile, Myron still hasn't told me what he wants. My box opening knife is actually in the kitchen, so I'm afraid you're gonna have to be stabbed with this toothbrush. It doesn't feel quite as threatening, does it? Well, you need to stop coking, Myron. That's just not healthy. Like, I'm not here to judge. You know, you can do whatever. But that's going to lead to some nose issues and some bleeding issues. It's going to screw up your mouth. Like, whatever you do in your private time, you know, it's up to you, man. Oh, you know what I should do? I should get a spoon out here. That would be on character, wouldn't it?
Wow. My dad used to make swords like yours. Can I touch it?
It's sharp. Better not. Need to talk to your father.
I forged swords once. Now it's sides and O's. For good arms, you'll need to go to Novigrad.
Wanted to ask you about Hannah. Heard she looked after your children.
Aunt Hannah? Do you know where she is?
No, that's why I'm here. She maybe tell you where she was going, or anything else?
She said turnips are healthy, and we ought to eat them.
I saw her go to the forest, with another lady. It was dawn almost. I'd gone out so I wouldn't wet the pallet.
The forest? She's done for.
Why?
A huge pack roams the area. None from the village dares go in the forest. Neelan's only one not afeared, but then he's a hunter.
Did you get a good look at the other woman? Know who it was?
No. She walked in front of Aunt Hannah. I couldn't see.
Thanks. Farewell.
Oh, my! Nice.
I think I'd only give a negative to the kids if they were especially irritating. Skyrim! Excuse me. Okay, so my and 97 puts this towards cities, skylines, DLC. So noted, Myron. And thank you again. Hi, Morbidian. Bye, Morbidian. I've been sore. I don't know what's up. I have just not been feeling great lately. But thank you for asking. Hello, Ginger Ninja. So, Upon a Time wants me to make it daytime. Sure. No, I'll feel really terrible in August. Like I do every year. Put it there. This isn't a lore run, Ginger Ninja. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you heard, but this is not a lore run. We will stab you if you say this is a lore run. You see that lightning over there? That's going to stab you. You ever been stabbed by lightning before?
This downpour's a bastard, it is.
Yeah. Well, you're about to be, Ginger Ninja, for daring to infer that this is a lore run. I love how it's like, go back to the road. What are you doing? That I can't help you with, Alex. Whoop. Yeah, you know what summer means? Increased bills for keeping the AC on 24/7. I mean, functionally, this has turned into an IDC. Kind of mixed with a gush run. Oh no, it's a wolf! And then another wolf! And then another wolf! And then another wolf! And then another wolf!
No man did this. Cuts. Made with long claws. Flesh torn clear off. This is getting interesting.
Witcher?
What are you doing here? Shouldn't be in the forest alone.
I came to tell you. You needn't look for Hannah. She'd have returned long past were she alive. I'll pay you twice Neelan's pledge. Just tell the man his Hannah's dead.
Don't want to know what happened to her?
I've no illusions, Witcher. In Velen, you're gone as long as she's been. You don't come back. Hannah's dead for certain. Nealon ought to accept his loss. Move on with his life.
And get with me. The woman who really loves her.
Strange. People usually prefer to know the fate of their loved ones, whatever the cost.
What good will it do? I'll not get my sister.
Your dedication will be rewarded.
I can't lose him too. And, well, he'll not rest till he avenges his Hannah, even if it eats up his life. The man deserves better.
So, of course, she has no capacity whatsoever to be subtle here. Keep in mind that, ignoring the fact that Geralt flat out calls her out on this, we have noticed several times, if we've been doing side quests, that her attitude is the opposite, right? I'll give you a direct example. The guy who was like, oh, my brother, he went off to fight, and I just want to find him. He deserves better than to lay in the fields with the black ones, right? You remember that quest? They've literally shown us that that these people, as a people, as a cultural norm, are more interested in knowing, regardless of the know. Now, here's the thing. This quest can go several ways. I believe 3 total ways. Very Oblivion-y in that sense. What do you think is the best outcome here? Because I've heard some people argue that the best outcome here would be to go ahead and just tell the man that she's dead and, you know, let them be together and have some kind of life after this. Because if you find out the truth, nobody's really happy about that, is the argument. So what do you guys think? Now, of course, for the purposes of this completely not a lore run, we're going to go ahead and, you know, go through the whole quest.
Sorry, not in the habit of leaving jobs undone.
Folks speak true about you Witchers. You're heartless beasts.
He'd be fine. Already.
This is getting interesting.
Come on, I want to... There we go.
Claw marks. Deep.
Now, this is funny, of course, coming from me, and I just mentioned how important it is to me to be honest, or to share the truth. But, like I said, I have heard people argue that, given the circumstances, nothing good comes from actually unveiling what happens here. And thus it is better to allow the incredibly evil woman to have her way. And make no mistake, this woman is a horrible person. Just, wow. Like, I'm not sure I can even properly mentally...
Smell of a rotting corpse.
Cognate
spattered all around.
The idea of deliberately getting her sister killed in order to get in with her sister's husband. Oh, funny fact, and I don't want to bring gender politics into this, but if you want to understand how screwed up this is, flip the genders. Imagine if a man deliberately killed his brother to lay with his wife.
Must be Hannah. Torn to pieces, literally. Werewolf. No doubt about it. Gotta be careful. Blood and paw marks. Wonder where they lead.
Now, she argues that she didn't actually want her to die. She wanted her to be scared off and leave them alone. I would buy that, but the problem is, well, to be blunt, she feels no particular remorse for having done it. Right? Like, she shows no sign of, oh my god, I killed my sister. Instead, it's more like, I mean, I didn't mean to get her killed. I just wanted her scared off, but you'll be happier with me. You know, that kind of defensive approach to things just shows how little she cares about her sister's death. It's just kind of, whatever, you know. It's like stubbing her toe. Ah, that sucks, but then you don't think about it tomorrow.
Shit. Climbed the tree. I can't get up there. Maybe find something else on the ground.
Oh, also PG-13 warning.
Tuft of fur. Whatever lost it hasn't bathed in a while.
Yeah, and that's also true of Skystrax. Even if death was not her intent, not only is she accepting of it, as we just mentioned, but she was actually trying to get her sister and her sister's husband to break up, specifically so she could steal her sister's husband. Even ignoring the death part of the equation, that is still pretty bad. Hey, Kemek. Hey, Drakrillion. What's up? Ah, there it is. Apparently I'm blind today.
Man's clothes. Shredded, but no sign of blood. Who rips their own clothes off? Leaves them in the woods.
I mean, we know the answer to that.
Looks like a hunter's quarters.
You know, I'm sorry to point this out, but just leaving the antelope out like that, that's how you get ants right there.
Notes. Wonder whose.
Well, it's interesting you say that, Max Time. By my own adherence to definitions, this would be a premiere run, but obviously that doesn't qualify. But then again, doesn't this qualify as an IDC? Technically? I am who I am. I can't change that. Shirts woven of parsley and potions made of virgin tears might work in old wives' tales, but not for me. It's time to come to terms with it. With Hannah's love and iron discipline, I have found a way to manage it, but I must remember to hide in the woods before the full moon rises. To go somewhere far from others and far from Hannah. The attack comes and then passes. I wake up with wounds on my hands and the taste of blood in my mouth. Perhaps it is for the best I don't remember. Killing prey with bow and arrow is one thing. To tear it with fang and claw. At least here, deep in the woods, I won't hurt any people. Merciful Matili, or however you say that, watch over any who stray too close. Now, I just want to point out something here, because... Haha, Krellis. Because this is a very common... Mei. I like that. Mei. She's Mei from now on. This is a very common aspect when it comes to... This is a very common theme when it comes to Witcher 3. Knowledge. The difference between knowledge and lack of knowledge. It's a recurring theme in almost every major story arc in this entire game. It's really shoved in our face in Blood and Wine. But in every other thing, it's just kind of a background element. And I already talked about that, but I just wanted to mention it again because it just keeps cropping up and I love it. Anyways, moving on. Losing control of my mouse. Hello, Dance Yourself. Happy Canada Day. To any Canadians out there. Do we have any Canadians today? Or should I say Canadianians? Oh, come on. Fine. Isn't there a way to, like, hotkey these? I know that sounds like a dumb question, but isn't there a way to hotkey these? Other than hitting tab and dealing with this awful interface. Hotkeyed by default. Well, that's an interesting question. Why don't we just find out? Hang on. Corrales says... Well, that's what 1 does. I don't know why I thought that would do anything else. What's 3 do? Nothing. What's 4 do? Oh, 3 is Arn, 4 is Yrden. So 5 is Igni. So... No, that's the wrong one. So there's Igni, Yrden, Ard. Yeah, that might work out. 3, 4, and 5 are the ones I really care about. Let's save. You know what? The other reason I remember this quest? As I mentioned, when I was playing this game for the first time, I played this legit. There were no cheats. I don't even know cheats. And then I got my ass handed to me by this fight. Just absolutely crushed. It was a little bit of a wake-up call. Now, granted, I was playing a normal, but still. I wasn't prepped. I hadn't done anything. I was just like, alright, let's see how this works. Ah! Is pretty much how that went. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we need to do something weird even with cheats. I guess we'll find out in a second. Oh, come on, surely this qualifies as Nightfall. It's 7 at night. Why isn't this Nightfall? Fine. Oh my god, yes, that's great, that's great. Nightfall. A very good expansion, actually. Oh god, it's the enemy! And he's dead. Now that's cathartic.
No! Stop! Don't harm him!
Are you an idiot?
You insane? Stand back, he's dangerous.
Not to me, he's not. It's Neelan.
Lycanthropy can afflict anyone, but it is a curse.
Whoops, sorry.
You don't understand. I love him.
Oh,
He was near to being mine.
Pay close attention. Hopefully you'll learn something.
Damn it, guys. Stop giving me money. Who is that? Who is that? It's you, Krillian. How could you? How could you? Thank you, Dirk Krillian. Much appreciated. Although, you didn't actually tell me what you want to put it towards. So I'm afraid we're going to have to go back to stabbing you with the toothbrush. Sorry. The rules are rules.
You came along. Go away. Leave us be.
Not till I find out what's going on here.
I love him. Always have. Even after I learned his secret.
You knew? Did you know I shut myself in here to wait out me change?
I knew, and I didn't mind. But you chose Hannah. I wanted her to see you. I wanted her to fear you. She'd not have stayed. And we could be together.
You brought her here. That night. 'Twas the reason I had the taste of blood in me mouth come morn.
I did it for us. She was to see you turn, not more. I didn't want her death. You've got to believe me.
I don't. And I'll kill you willingly. There's time for that, in fact.
This is between the two of you. I refuse to meddle, but cross my path again, and I will kill you.
No! Mercy!
You had no mercy for your sister. I'll have none for you.
Does that answer you, Revan? Now...
Told you I'd kill you.
I knows well what you said. Do it.
If you want death, find some reins and a tree with a strong limb.
Wouldn't work. Couldn't do it. Always been a coward. Do it. Please.
You'll notice that's not even a choice. Just, yeah. The end. Quest complete! No, I did not, Tokyo Vampire. Although, if you give me a second, I'll check something. Nice. Not you guys, sorry. Everyone relevant is currently dead. Yep, nope, I got nothing. Nothing at all, Tokyo Vampire. So, no. Wait! Wait! There is a donation! What in the world? Holy crap. Okay, yes. Thank you very much, Tokyo Vampire. There is a donation. It's here. I don't know when the hell that snuck in there, but thank you very much. I did get the donation for Yakuza Kiwami, which I shall jot down right now. Fire. Yakuza Kiwami. And Der Trillion wants to put it towards RimWorld. So noted to both of you. Thank you again. Okay. See you around max time. I'd actually like to discuss that at length with you, but I feel like we just fundamentally disagree on the definition point there, so... Nevertheless, thank you for your thoughts. Oh, that might make sense, Tokyo Vampire, because I had to go get the door. Oh, hey, this sword's too heavy. I haven't seen you in a while. Okay. There we go. Okay. Sorry, just getting refamiliarized with controls. I think there's a fast travel point out here. So Hazardous says, this quest needs a story plus. No. If I was to give a story plus for every single quest that's good, what I am far more likely to do is to continue to keep track of side quests that are good and continue to give side pluses for side quests that are good. You know what I mean? That's what is more likely to happen. Now, if you're paying attention, so some people say, well, how about the writing? And some people say, how about the side quests? Those both already have pluses. Like, as of now. Those are already over here, or wherever the heck it is. So... don't... rest assured, I am sure that number will go up. I need to check something. One more thing. I know I've spent a lot of time alt-tabbing. I'm sorry, guys. I have a feeling I'm not going to find what I want here. But nobody answered me earlier, so I need to check myself. Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, well, it was worth checking. So in Fallout 3, Oblivion, Skyrim, you know, other games, there's a console command to basically adjust your movement speed. And you could say, we did this for the Elder Scrolls lore run. I didn't see anything for that here. I don't want to be super ridiculous fast, but it would be nice to be triple to quintuple the speed that I'm currently going, just from going to point A to point B. And having it as a console command would be ideal, because then I could toggle it on and toggle it off. Oh yeah, speaking of which, because this was brought up in one of the comments yesterday, I do want to point out that the console command does not get a plus, because the console command is a mod. It's not something built into the game, and therefore it doesn't get credit for that.
Air is strange, like dropping into a deep cellar on a hot day. And the mist.
They mentioned that it's a curse, but I don't know is the correct answer, Alex. So I'm not sure how exactly you contract lycanthropy. So yeah, this is a whatcha-fig thing. Yeah, that's Heatherton. That makes sense. Alright, let's go ahead and do... Now that is a good question. So we will check that as we speak, which is this button. We don't have werewolves in the list yet. This is basically my third and a half time playing this, roughly. To answer Remedy's Exion. See, moments like this are why I would like to have a movement speed thing. I apparently have a movement speed mod on. It says I'm going faster, or rather, it's by all accounts it seems to be working. Except for the fact that I don't seem to be actually moving any faster. So... why would I use Roach? Doesn't Roach have enough going on in his life? Her life?
Not another step, or there'll be one corpse more.
What?
Listen, behind you.
If you think I'm gonna fall for... Oh, you fucker.
Language?
To arms! Monsters are coming! Thank you. If not for you, that would have been the end of us. Sure as spring.
You're welcome.
Like shit in a blowhole.
Yeah, to my knowledge, they don't really do much with lycanthropy in this game, or in these games, I should say. So how do I feel about swearing in The Witcher? I've always been of the opinion that if you're going to use swearing...
Damn, you're ugly.
It should be done for a specific narrative purpose. And usually, at least for me, that means swearing very rarely. Like, make it the exception when you swear, you know? Add more impact to it because of its rarity. That kind of a thing, you know, normal stuff. No. No, you can do it, girl. You can do it. Maybe you can't. Maybe we're just stuck here forever. Unable to climb out. There we go! That being stated, it's worth noting that some fiction will use swearing as a near constant element, specifically as a narrative point. Yes, I did actually, as it is. That's one of our negatives, or at least part of the aggregate, I should say. Might grow to a full negative, we'll see. I'll give you a direct example. Basically any Grand Theft Auto game. Games that are, by and large, fairly well written, but tend to use just a cavalcade of swearing. Just F, 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 and the F, your F, F for this F. S, F, F, S, F, A, F, S, A. You know, just cycling through it, right? Now, I don't want to sound completely dismissive of that. I've never actually done a full review of any Grand Theft Auto game. But, I mean, I have literally known people who talk like that in real life. And near as I can tell, and this is admittedly partially from memory, most of that swearing is being done specifically for, you know, narrative purpose, as in, that is how they're supposed to talk, kind of a deal. In short, it depends on the specifics. It depends on what you're doing and where you're doing and how you're doing it. Now, for a game like this, well, someone in chat actually already said it, but I agree with the idea of swearing should be more the province of the lower class, rather than... You would never see Amir swear. Not like that, right? Yennefer would only swear under rare circumstances. But random guard number 775? Yeah, no, he should probably be like... Blah, blah, blah.
We don't serve lushes, shavers, caretakers, or students from Philosopher's Hall.
Do I look like any of the people from that list?
Doesn't hurt to check, just so it's clear how things stand.
So what did they do to you, the students from...
Rather not talk on it, alright. What's your poison?
But, you know, I agree completely. Amir... That's why I say swearing has to be used specifically. If you see guard number 775 go... Then that's just... Okay. It doesn't even faze you, right? If the high and mighty emperor, a white flame that dances on the graves of his enemies, suddenly started saying... That would just ruin it, right? Never mind the fact that Charles Dance tends to not swear in general.
You play Gwent?
Not with just anybody, and always for high stakes. With you, I might.
I'll play on your terms.
Alright, I'm ready. It's gonna be the hardest game we've ever done. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I give up. I can't beat him.
I don't like losing, but that don't mean I don't do it with grace. The card and the prize are yours.
You've been playing a while? Gotta know where I can find some interesting cards.
In Novigrad, there's Oliver the innkeeper. He plays, though he's far beneath my level. Closer, in Velen, there's the barkeep at the inn at the crossroads.
Thanks. Hey, we just got Yen's card. Also, isn't this the inn where, Spoon happens? Like, later? I could be wrong, maybe it's just the same model of inn. Anyways, you might be wondering, why are we even bothering doing the Gwent stuff? Well, I'm pretty sure that's eventually going to lead to the tournament, and I very much want to do the tournament on camera, so... Caution, a troll's been seen and heard in the lands of Oxenford on the left bank of the Pontar. Said troll's been known to sing Redanian marching tunes. It is suspected this is part of some Nilfgaardian diversion tactic. It is highly recommended that this area be avoided till the appropriate branch of His Majesty's service can take care of the problem. In the event of an encounter with the troll, it is recommended to remain immobile, keeping low to the ground and covering one's head and one's arms. There exists a chance the beast will not then attack, for it will mistake the potential victim, thus situated, for a rock. Contract. By order of our most magnanimous ruler, King Radovid V, the great, the glorious, the very light that rises the sun into the day, for that our days might be filled with his gradience. Any itinerant monster slayer reading this notice is obliged to abandon any currently unresolved contracts immediately and devote himself to tracking and slaying this monster. The beast in question has fouled the cradle of human intellect, the city within whose territory lies the oldest academies of learning, namely Oxenford. The swordsman who puts an end to this criminal doings will be rewarded in the king's full generosity. Yeah, no kidding, Retu. Contract. If you know no fear and seek work, read this notice, for the call contained therein will be of great interest to you. Hans of Sidara, soldiers of fortune and veterans of many wars, hereby makes known the following, being greatly concerned about the fate of the local peasantry, which suffers horribly from the attacks of some monsters nesting in the forest near Oxenford, I have decided to grant a purse of Novigrad crowns to the man who slays this beast. Yet may it be known that any man who comes to me without a trophy shall receive no gold, but instead shall be tossed out on his arse so hard he shan't sit again to the end of his days. Let the following be known far and wide. There's some monster in the woods outside Novigrad doing great damage to our war effort. Anyone that tracks it down and kills it will not only fulfill a patriotic duty and bring the inevitable victory of the united northern forces under the leadership of our brave, glorious King Radovid. May we lick his boots in eternity forever. But we'll also get a sizable coin reward as recompense for his trouble. Addendum, the reward has not been claimed. Addendum, attention, if the monster is not killed by the end of the present month, taxes for the entire region will be raised by 1/5. Attention, countrymen, don't get taken in by the platitudes and false prophecies dealt by a certain so-called soothsayer dwelling in Benkelham. This man calls himself a sage, but knows as much about divining the future as any toothless village hag, and all he truly cares about is extracting coin from the unwary. Don't let him cheat you, it'll only encourage him. Gwent thing. I'm pretty sure that was just flavor, Alex. I could be wrong, though. I could be stupid, dumb, and terrible. But yeah, 20% tax hike for nobody taking the job to kill a monster. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention that it was a 5th-year medical student. Which...
Beg your pardon?
You rocked into me. I'm sorry, which show is that, Revan? Because I can't think of that ever happening to me.
Greetings, Master. What can I do?
Got a razor and shears?
Indeed. It's time to look fabulous. Let's see. The Elven... Whoops, that's a misclick. Oh, Man in the High Castle. Well, either way, I don't think I've ever dealt with that, Revan. Although, honestly, that's not true, isn't it? I guess that's not true. I have, in fact, dealt with that before. Can I, like... What do we got? Let's try this one. Because I've dealt with Mass Effect 3. And you kind of know how I dealt with that one, right? I mean, I played through Mass Effect 3, and then I was disappointed by Mass Effect 3, and then I mentally wrote Mass Effect 3 out of existence. That's not bad. Let's try 2 here. No. No. That just, no. That's not Geralt. Like, it's not a bad hair. It's just no. It's more like what my hair would look like. Ah! That's even worse. Oh, God. Okay, let's go back to this. Yeah, RDR2 did something similar, Linkinski. There we go. Mutton chops! God, that looks terrible. That looks so terrible. Oh my God. Here, let's see if we can see something even worse. I mean, that's not as bad. Let's go ahead and do this. What I want to do is I want to be clean shaven. I want to see how much it grows naturally. Just over the course of the game. Because I'm amused by that. Okay.
So long.
Well, I mean, I would probably not be employed right now if I hadn't played Mass Effect 3. But no, my overall advice is to basically decide how much you care about concluding it. Because, I mean, right? Alright, so let's go find the troll, shall we? I mean, when would you even see it, Kemek? That's true. Hazardous has good advice there. Go in with a MST3K kind of mentality. That might help. So this is a fun side quest. Save. Can't even head bob in time because he's not in time. Ew.
You mans! Here, Redania Camp Army! No cross, no boat steal!
Redanian army? Where are you hiding them?
In here! Me! No see mans? Join me! King Ravodid Army! Order got guard boatses.
Boats are in pretty bad shape.
Me guard boats, Red say. But no wood for to make a fence. Their boats high, so me fence make a boats. Boats guard boats.
Extremely logical. Best 10 out of 10, sir. Anyways, whoever asked about Mass Effect, it scrolled off, so I don't see the name. I'm one of those people who doesn't think that Mass Effect 3 ruined Mass Effect 1 or 2. So I think Mass Effect 1 or 2 are still worthy of playing and still very enjoyable. But if you care about how the series ends, you might want to just stop with Mass Effect 2.
Why'd you join the army? Someone recruit you?
Crude? No crude. Come good soldier mans. Say chargy man wants boats. Peasanters, they steals peasanters' boats. Puzzler trollololo? Dunno.
Think I do. Redanian seized some peasants' boats. Thought the peasants might try to take them back. What happened next?
Chargy man go. Soldier mans drink and sing. Lot sing. Listen, troll. Both. Come, peasanters, swing sharpie sticks. I help one army. Runner to runner. Holla, peasanters. Holla, soldier mans. Gentle. Move them apart. But all lie down, soldier mans do. But order had me watch boats. And what I? Trollololo soldier man now. Trollolo just sing too. You for sing you?
No thanks. Heard you earlier. But listen, where are the bodies? Don't see any.
Hungry go. Should no waste. Peasanters good food. Soldier man friends. Not so good big stew. Always good.
Right. Trollolololoja. This poor guy. I mean, yeah, you don't waste food. It just makes sense. Also, I've known several people who like Mass Effect 3. I don't. I mean, there are parts of Mass Effect 3 I like. Don't mistake me. But when I went back through that game for the lore run, it actually reminded me of how bad that game really was. In my opinion, obviously. There's just like, if I was to describe Mass Effect 3 right now, I would say that it's like a buffet that was prepared by like 6 or 7 different chefs of wildly different quality. Like, there's some dishes which are just, oh, these are wonderful. And then there's some dishes which are like, all right, whatever. I mean, it's food. And then there's some dishes which makes me want to vomit. That's Mass Effect 3 for me. Just massively wildly different quality throughout the course of the game. Like the intro? Ugh, Mars? What the hell? Then you get to Rannoch, and I was like, okay, Rannoch is awesome. And then there's Asari Planet, I can never think of the name of it, which was just, what? And then there's Tachanka, which was like, yes! And then there was the, oh god, I can't think of the name of any of the worlds right now. The Solarian world, which was... That's my point. I feel like the quality just did this throughout the course of Mass Effect 3. Anyways. And yeah, we can never get away from Mass Effect 3, can we?
Guess I understand. Wartime rules.
Man's soldier man too?
No.
Tra-la-la-la. Makes man soldier man. Trollo. Shardy man. Say, bring paint. And man brings paint.
Paint? What are we talking about?
Paint! Paint! Red colory, white colory, city gods, no city go. Tra-la-la. What's boats?
Fine. I'll try to find some paint for you.
Good mans. Redani army, no service forget. What a pretty, pretty was he when man falls dead off horsey. Then make soup, then make feast. Good no wasting, tasty meats. Forgot next.
For the record, my opinion of Drew Karpyshyn's writing has basically nosedived in more recent years. However, that being said, I do agree with the general idea that a singular mainliner for Mass Effect 3 would have helped tremendously. Because that is, in my opinion, I'd say one of 3 of the biggest problems with Mass Effect 3. The fact that there is no real mainliner. So it's just 5 or 6 writers doing their own thing. And in many cases, it doesn't line up with itself. What the world was that? Oh. It doesn't line up at all, right? It's just massively inconsistent writing in terms of events, in terms of quality, in terms of characters. Hi, Christopher Falcon. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. This is as close as we're ever getting to a lore run. So... Now... I don't know. Yes, I know. Thank you. God. Ah! Didn't I turn the tutorials off?
What can I do with you for? If I ain't got it today, say the word and I'll have it tomorrow.
I was hoping for a round of cards. No. What do you got in stock?
Let me see. Might pick something.
Alright, first I want to sell... He, of course, doesn't have that kind of money. Who is going to have the kind of money I need? I need a really wealthy merchant, and I don't know one. Does anyone know a really wealthy merchant? Like, just absolutely swimming in gold.
So long.
No, I did, Brad Affairs. I guess I should just check rather than presuminating. Nope, wrong thing. Gameplay, I think? What in the world? Blacksmith and... well, isn't that this guy? Or do you mean someone else? Hang on. Well, there's the armorer right over there. Let's go talk to him. See what he's got. Excuse me. You missed everything, Linkinski. In all seriousness, I actually liked Blood and Wine quite a lot, even though I also didn't like it quite a bit. In fact, to be completely blunt, there's one thing that irritates the hell out of me in Blood and Wine that I might even give a negative for to story.
Greetings. My, a witcher. Something tells me I'll finally get something interesting to do.
Yep.
Sure doesn't look like you're short on work.
So, this. A Redanian army order. But there's no pleasure in it. One after the other. Same thing time and again. No finesse required.
Looking to perfect your craft?
Of course. Crafting's like ploughing a maid. Fall into a rut and... Well, sure, you'll get the job done, but there'll be no hoops, no hollers, no standing ovation. So, got any special requests for me? Help me stay on form?
Still talking about armor, aren't we?
Aye. What else would it be?
Right.
Show me what you have in stock.
So he has 200 gold. I don't think that's enough to buy one of my items. Well, maybe it is. Nope. You sure this guy is the money guy, right? Or is that my gold and not his gold? No, he has 1,000 gold. Never mind, I see it now. I see it. So we'll sell that. And... that. And now he's broke. 2 items!
So long.
No, Puzzle Fury. So far it's been pretty good.
Oh!
Crowns, gold, silver, planks of wood, cowrie shells, who cares? Honestly, no. I anticipate it'll be worse in the YouTube comments, since that's usually where most of the more toxic people in my show tend to navigate towards. I don't mean that as a stab at the YouTube viewers, by the way. What I mean by that is, I mean, think about it for a second. Statistically speaking, if someone's watching a stream, they're probably invested enough to want to be here, right? However, it takes no effort or investment to just pop onto a YouTube channel and be like, well, this guy's an idiot. And just, and there you go, right? So, I have plenty of awesome YouTube people. In fact, that's one of the reasons I love to read my comments every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. Because, you know, you guys are awesome. But, statistically speaking, most of the crap I tend to get is on YouTube. Of course, Nymph. Roach has got this. That's a good question, Micro. I don't know. Oh, we already heard this song. So we're going to save before we do this.
Private Snake, report on order.
Just so happens I have some paint on me.
Oh! 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 Uh-oh.
What's the matter?
Has paid, but how? Dunno.
Might be a problem.
Man's how no. I order. Man's knows.
I guess I do. Depends what.
Birdo Connery. Redania Birdo. Shields like.
Okay.
Guess I can give it a shot. Got a brush?
Beautiful. Pretty Birdo.
It's better than I could draw.
So, as long as you're happy with it.
Man's good. Not like other mans take cues. Take barrels and ask for more.
Now to go ahead and give a terrible monologue. Oh, wait, I modded that out, and that's the last time I'll make that joke, I swear. Because screw those things!
Pretty, pretty, what? Private Snake.
Skip. Throw Jared a joke. We're walking.
Know what? You're the Redanian soldier. You should paint it.
Yeah, try I. Man's no go, man's watch.
Okay, I'll watch. What do you got?
Birdo ugly.
No, actually, it's not bad. Not bad at all.
Look at that.
Kind. That birdo ugly. Trollololo see. Trollololo see ugly.
Poor Trollolo.
Good. No that other man's take Jews.
So I'd like to nickname this troll from now on. He calls himself Trollolo, right? I want to call him the Trollololger. Who's with me? The Trollolore? That's even worse! Wait. So that's the... let's see. What order do I want to do these things in? Let's do this. Trollolore. Come on, Trollololger. It fits perfectly. Besides, I don't think I'm even capable of talking like that guy. That takes some genuine talent, and I mean that with total sincerity. Me no I, in like to talking bad. No workings for Trollolololor. I also don't know how to kill things underwater. How do I kill things underwater? There's a way to do it, isn't there? Nope, I guess not. Yeah, I thought it was the crossbow, but it's not letting me draw it. Which is really weird. Yeah, it's just not letting me draw it. Maybe it's just because I'm too close to town. Because now you can't really draw your weapons in town. You have to select it? Okay. That is very strange. Whatever. Well, that's dumb. 15 negatives to the radial wheel. See, I have no hesitation about giving negatives to this game. If you can't guess why, you're not paying attention to this total up here.
Here to talk about the contract.
Contract? Ah, yes. Put my mark to something of the sort. Seems a creature's attacking lonely passers-by, abandoning their corpses in gutters around Oxenford.
Isn't that something you should look into?
Perhaps, but we've a ploughing war to win. Haven't got the time to clean gutters.
Okay.
I'll take the job. Need to hear some details.
You'll learn everything I know.
Like to examine the victims' bodies.
A corpse is a corpse.
I see the wounds. Might be able to tell what kind of monster killed them.
Ask our Sawbones. He'll know if the corpses have been burned or not. You'll most likely find him in the hut on the riverbank. Our impromptu morgue.
Any witnesses to these attacks? Anyone see the beast?
Some woman survived an attack. They say she's not been sober since. I'd try the Tavern in Oxenford if you're willing to try talking to her.
Won't give me any trouble with the reward, will you?
Nah, I want this out of my hair.
So, I don't want to make this comment here, but this is another example of how different the North tends to operate from the Nilfgaardians. I'm not saying that the Nilfgaardians are better, but you'll notice how the North is all a bunch of idiots. I was trying to come up with a better word for that, and I just failed. My favorite example is what the line he just said. A corpse is a corpse. Why could it possibly matter? Apparently this does allow me to switch between my signs, whoever, Kemek mentioned that, but it doesn't allow me to equip the crossbow. So,
Oh, will you buy a round for a victim of the beast?
yeah, sure.
Tell me about the monster. How you were attacked.
I'd need another bottle to get through it.
One whole bottle. Eh.
Some other time.
No, not Neanderthals. There is a specific type of mentality. Well, that's what I was... Yes, Kevin. If I click it, it brings it up. But you'll notice it wasn't doing it until I selected it in the tab menu. Once I selected it in the tab menu, then it worked. Which is dumb. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. There's a mentality of not my problem. That's, I think, the simplest way to put it. Trying to deliberately focus in, you know, it's not necessarily stupid. That's why I hesitate to use that word. It's a little idiotic, but it's not stupid, because they understand that there's more going on than they know about, and they understand that there's a greater world out there. They just don't want to give a damn about it. So they try to focus in on their world and their life, and the rest of it is whatever. They don't care. They don't want to get involved. They don't want to have a... They just don't want to give a damn, right? I've seen that attitude many times in real life. So... And I don't want to sound like I'm speaking negatively of that attitude, even though I personally don't think that's a good attitude to have. Because... Well, yeah. But anyways, what I really want to do is this. So what do we got here? I think this is this. Oh, maybe not. I thought it was under general. Obviously I'm wrong. It must be under signs then. What do we got here? I mean, we'll go ahead and do that. I probably do, Asdus. Yeah, we'll stick with that for now. So let's go and equip that. I suppose this is a good time to discuss, you know, this, the method of leveling. So, just to showcase it, this is the method of leveling, and I'm not sure... I'm not sure what I think of this. I think I'm kind of with Upon a Time. I think this is mostly neutral. Some alternate leveling methods I love. I love the complexity of it, or I love the variability of it, or I love how much you can customize it. I'm not sure this qualifies as a full positive for me. Because yeah, I too have seen better, and I have seen worse. There's some decent stuff here. You know, but a lot of this is what I like to call boring alternate leveling. Like, for example, each piece of light armor equipped increases crit hit damage by 25% and fast attack damage by 5%. That's boring stuff, as I like to call it, because it just increases your stats. Here's another example. Increases your health by 500. You know, just straight stat stuff. Now, not all of it is that, of course. Some of this stuff actually allows you to do additional attacks or varies the attacks you have. Here we go, like Whirl, for example, which allows you to do a spinning strike on everything in the area. And as I pointed out, Fire Stream here, which actually allows you to vary up the way you use Igni, for example. So there are a few specific things that varied up, but to continue my point, this makes it so it weakens enemy armor, so that's nice, but it's still a stat thing. This just increases intensity and regen, and this just increases burning and regen. Stats, in other words. You get my point? That's why I think this is still kind of decent, but not great, and I don't think it really deserves a full positive, especially considering this over here. Now, that being said, this does one thing very right, and that is the fact that you can just respec it well. Just and then and then and then and then I want to do this, and then I want to put this over here. Being able to basically respec at will is a nice thing. Well, I say respec. That's not truly a respec. Because, to finish my point, the fact that you can't fully respec at will is also part of the thing dragging it down. Now, is there a way to truly respec in this game? Because I don't know of one. But I wouldn't be surprised if there is one. Without mods, obviously. And if I'm not making it clear, what I mean by that is to reset which points you've spent in the branches. Okay, so there's a potion. So that's not bad. How hard is that potion to procure? Because, yeah, that affects things. I know you get the free one with New Game Plus. Oh yeah, speaking of which, sorry. Plus to gameplay. New Game Plus exists. Don't need to explain myself on that one. New Game Plus. 1,000 crowns. That's not too bad. And it's infinitely available. Like, there's no limitation. There's no limitation on it, basically. You can just keep buying them. Whoops. Okay, so it does replenish. So that's actually not bad. So that might change my mind a little bit, because respec, I've always said that respec is a good option when it comes to games like these. Option, emphasis, option. Because, duh, right? Respecing encourages and allows players to branch out more, to experiment more with builds, or to see if they like such and such, or maybe if they don't like such and such, and maybe they're partial way through the game and they don't want to start the game over, so they go ahead and respec to try out a new build. You know, that kind of a thing. There's just so many reasons why respecing is a good thing, in my opinion. So, there is a respec. It does cost 1,000 crowns, so that sounds like more of a mid-game to late-game thing, because right now I can afford one of those. And then, of course, there's the mutagens. These are obvious. You get these from actually doing stuff. I don't know... Like, there's a few of these which are... Yeah, okay. The mutagens obviously giving their benefit to the color based on where you lock them in. And I don't remember if this works across the board. Last I checked, each mutagen only combos or whatever with the 3 adjacent to it. Is that correct? Please feel free to correct me on this one, because, again, I don't remember. Okay, so I am right. I've noticed the 3rd or 4th tier tends to have the nice talents. Oh, I agree, this sword's too heavy. And I don't even like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Just getting stuff all willy-nilly, because all I really want is Whirl. There we go. Okay. There's... Yeah. Yeah, I don't care about that. Actually, I take that back. Take that back. Yeah, I think we're good. Like, we already have Delusion. I don't think any of the rest of these affect dialogue. So... So let's really sit and think about this for a second. So there's levels. Levels give you HP and affect part of your core formula variables, right? I'm trying to think of all the different methods that you have of horizontal leveling within this game. So we've got this stuff. We've got the mutagens, which you get for doing quests or killing significant monsters. You've got the points you can put to vary these up, which, as I said, they're just there. They're okay. We've also got, obviously, your equipment. Your equipment itself has slots, which you can put glyphs into. So, you know, that's a thing. Yeah, we're only talking about... Well, I mean, we're talking about the game without mods, upon a time. I'm judging all 3 games as one game here. So we do have the glyphs, which Heart of Stone added. And there are more advanced runes later. Yeah, go ahead, Brad Fraser, and thank you for asking. We've got... Is that it? We've got the trophies, but that just affects stats again. I'm trying to remember what else there is. Because most of the stuff like the food or the potions or the bombs is different. That's not really a horizontal... That's not an aspect of horizontal leveling. That's an aspect of variability when it comes to combat, which is good. But I don't think it's really substantial when it comes to horizontal leveling. And of course, you can make your own mutagens based on, you know, stuff. There's also set bonuses in armor, which is fairly typical at this point. I think I'm willing to give 1 total plus to the game. And even this, I feel, is stretching it a little bit, if I'm being completely honest. So we'll go ahead and basically add 1 plus, and this is the only plus the game will ever get for this, for various decent abilities, talent points, mutagens, combo. There's actually a better term for that. It's when you work well with something else. Symbiotic? No, there's a better term for that. There's actually a gameplay term for that, and I can't think of it. Thingers. Grindstones. Set bonuses. That is the term, synthesis. Synthesis. Or synergy actually works a lot better. Synergies. And so on that allow a moderate amount of horizontal leveling, customization, and, most importantly, the availability to respec relatively easily. There we go. So that's going to be a plus by itself. 1, 2, 3. Jesus Christ, we have too many pluses in this game. God, we're actually almost out of points. That's hysterical. I've just been messing around trying to get Whirl. Oh, I need to equip Whirl, speaking of which. I just wanted Whirl and, you know, the Ignis and the Delusion, which I need to equip, speaking of which. There we go. And that's like it, basically. And that took up almost all of my points. I'm level 46. I have been told that on average you will beat this game around level 35 to 40. So... Anyways, now that we've done all that...
Oh, will you buy... I'd need another
Places of power aren't really horizontal leveling, though. Those are buffs. Temporary buffs. Buffs are fine, but... Although they do give points, that's true.
See, I'd rather you stayed sober while we talked. Bought yourself that bottle later.
Have it your way. I was leaving the inn that night. Might have had a drink or 5. I'm sure I wasn't hallucinating. Something down an alley called my name. It was dark. Couldn't see what it was, but it wasn't no human. Of that I'm certain.
What makes you so sure?
I just know. This thing grabbed the hem of my skirt, but I broke free and ran.
That it? You didn't see much.
Don't believe me either, do you? Fuck you! Fuck you all!
Okay.
A bracelet, pretty worn. Silver under the gilding, too big for a woman's wrist. Attacker lost it most likely.
I'm sure it's nothing. God, it's almost been 4 hours already. Can you believe that, guys? I mean, we spent like an hour playing Cosmetic Witcher earlier, so...
You the medic? I'd like to see the monster's victims.
Oh, yes. I've not had them burned yet. Must get to that.
Again, that just kind of slovenliness, right? That sort of, I don't care.
You done autopsies yet? Intend to?
Why would I? Beggars and vagrants. Every last one stinking of cheap wine.
Mind if I have a look?
In point of fact, I'd prefer you didn't sniff around.
Gonna make me come back with a written order?
Good grief. Pushy, aren't we? Here, the key to the morgue. Look all you want.
Thanks. But that again helps to emphasize what I was talking about. Just that sort of don't care attitude. Why bother? That phrase right there, I think, describes so much of the North's mentality. Why bother? Why try? Right? I mean, what's the point?
He was drunk. Someone dragged him over the cobblestones. Fang marks on his neck. Vampires sucked his blood. Vampire bites and the strong stench of alcohol, just like the other one. Fondness for jewelry, wounds on the victims' bodies. Everything suggests a Catacan, except this vampire likes the blood of drunkards. That's the way to lure it out.
I remember this part.
Stitch red to red, yellow to yellow, and white.
Exactly, Corrales. I sometimes wonder, and I'm curious if the books ever cover this, how bad other places have an issue with things like necrophages, like Toussaint, or, you know, Kor Nilfgaard. I mean, I can't either, Leander. That's why I'm trying really hard not to speak in a negative light about it. It'd be easy to just call them lazy, but this isn't really laziness. This is just a genuine apathy. A what's the pointitude, you know?
Oh, I remember you. What'll it be?
Want to get drunk off my ass, and it's gotta be on cheap wine.
Trouble with the lass? Or did your enterprise go under?
Neither. Just part of the job.
I'll need you to pay in advance.
Okay.
Pour, and keep it coming.
It's 80 crowns so far, if you're paying attention. So, drunk mechanics. Not as bad as some games I could mention.
Once was a maid from Vic of Varro. Tight at night she'd be loose come morrow. Early in the morning. Another maid from Vic of Varro. Plowed with pleasure, drank with sorrow, till early in the morning.
Catacan didn't hear it. I'll try another verse.
I love how he has just enough control to be drunk, while simultaneously being drunk.
Our third maid was not demanding. Gave it up to any man standing early in the morning.
What's the meaning of this? Such rudeness and vulgarity, young people these days.
All right, all right. Sheesh.
And yeah, considering that the Witchers are quite literally mutants. I'm reminded of the Captain America thing in the MCU. Can you get drunk? Eh, not really.
I sense your blood.
Come out and fight, bitch.
I shall drink your blood.
Come on, cut the shit.
Here I am. Oh yeah.
So we'll talk more about vampires later.
Where's that damned Catacan?
Notice we're just completely not drunk all of a sudden.
I can hear it.
It's okay, this is a... well... any kind of vampire is no joke, but Geralt is strong enough, skilled enough, and intelligent enough to be capable of taking on something like a Catacan. I forget the exact tiering of vampires.
The hut by the river.
There's like 5 or so, I want to say. But this is something he can handle, put simply. I do like the confidence on display, though. Yeah, no, I got this.
How you like that silver?
It's funny you say that, Corrales, because there's one aspect of vampires that I want to give a negative to story for. I don't know if I'm going to. I haven't decided yet.
Honor in the fatherland.
Killed the monster that was murdering folk. Turns out a Catacan was prowling the city.
You speak true. But what on earth's a Catacan?
A higher vampire. Particularly interesting case, this one.
How the hell could a foul beast be interesting?
This one liked alcohol. Had a hugely inflated ego, too.
What matters is you snuffed it out. Due some praise for that, Witcher.
So long.
Back onto your rock.
204 crowns. Oh, we did actually net pause it on that one. Hang on. There it is. But no, I am referring to Blood and Wine, Corrales. I'll go ahead and speak plainly. There's actually 2 things about the vampires in Blood and Wine I don't like. One is the Elder Vampire, which... we'll get there. The other is... Roach is just better at this than I am, Nymph. The other is the nature of only one hire can kill another hire, which... or high, I should say. And not only does that irritate me to begin with, but it also irritates me because they don't really explain it, to my knowledge. It's just only one can kill the other to prevent them from regenning. Why? Like, what part of that makes that work that way? I'm sorry, I'm debating my route here. What time is it? Let's do this. I agree with that, Leander. In fact, I find their alien nature to be one of the more interesting things about them. I know they were yet another of the many, I guess, refugees? I'm not sure what word to use there, of the conjunction of spears. Like I said, I'm not sure what proper terminology to use there. Stranded people? Yeah, Regis doesn't explain it all, to my reckoning. At one point, I need to look up all the species that were refugees, or whatever you want to call it. Because I know this planet, there's actually a decent number of people here who are not, native to this world, to this planet. I'm going the right way, right? No, I'm not. I'm going to the wrong way. No, this is right. This is right. It's taking longer than I thought it would. I thought dwarves were native too, but obviously not, since he didn't mention dwarves.
Come on, quick, unbind me! Unbind me before the next ones come!
When they come, I'll tend to them. Meanwhile, let's you and me chat. Like to know who I'm untying.
John Verdon. Served in the 10th Maribor Division.
Long way from your army.
My army don't exist no more. Black One smashed it to bits. I scarpered off into the woods just before that happened. Joined a group of refugees. Fucking bursting with patriotism they were. As soon as they learned I'd abandoned Temeria in her hour of need, they beat me down. Tied me up like a turkey, left me to the drowners.
So there's several things I like about this. Yes, Alex, as usual. First and most obvious thing I like about this, Geralt doesn't just leap to the opportunity to help anyone. Now, I know that sounds strange since I'm such a fan of the Mario archetype of characters, but what I like about this is it's appropriate for a setting like this. As I've said many, many times, to be the Mario, there's two things you need, one or the other, or both. Either the setting needs to support the existence of a character like the Mario, or you need to have supreme power. In other words, you need to be able to take the hit, assuming this is someone who is going to do you harm, or to do others harm, or whatever, right? This setting absolutely does not support something like the Mario, and Geralt absolutely does not have the power to be a Mario. So it makes perfect sense, within character and within lore, for this person to be as cynical and pragmatic as Geralt is. Now, as I mentioned before, you can play a Geralt who is leaning towards good, who is trying to help people. But he's still the person who will ask questions first, and then try to make things work later. Second thing I like about this quest is this is a surprisingly great scenario. This guy is a deserter, but he's a deserter of a situation that was basically hopeless. But he's a deserter of an army that could use additional people since the war's still going on, and the war isn't as decisive as everyone would have it think to be. Remember, as we learn more and more, the Nilfgaardians aren't just stomping over the north like you might assume they are. And as we talked about extensively during the Dragon Age Origins stream, during that lore run, desertion is actually a very real problem when it comes to military discipline. Because you let one deserter go, right? And there's actually several reasons why it's a tricky situation. Now, I'm going to go ahead and untie him purely because I want this quest to continue. But I mention that because this is an interesting choice here.
Fine, I'll help.
Oh, thanks. For a minute there, I was almost sure you'd leave me to die.
Most people are forced into the army.
But I've not a chip crown to my name.
Tough. I'll take the loss.
Thanks, Witcher. May you prosper on the path.
And if I'm being honest, leaving him to die to drowners is a horrible fate that probably no one deserves. Probably. I did, exclamation mark. I spiced it up with jalapenos, comma, and a little bit of pepper, period. It's quite good, period. Oh, Radova deserves to die, but you guys know me. I'm not a fan of horrible deaths. Not really. Deaths, sure. But, just as a quick reminder, right next to this. I actually don't know Innocence, so I can't answer that one. And we're going to go ahead and check this out since this is right here.
Yeah, sure stinks like a mass grave. Now for the holy oil. Hope they burn well.
Hate those guys. Oh yeah, holy oil. Right.
Now for a shot of Igni.
Just gotta make sure. There we go. Ah, thank you very much, Vandalia. It is nice to see you live, even though I'm about to break for lunch. So I hope you'll be here in about an hour when I come back. But thank you again very much for the sub. Do you know what you want to put that towards for a future stream? Yeah, a deserter that... Okay, let me go ahead and admit that the very idea of conscription is, in my opinion, a pretty messed up thing. If you tried to conscript me, I would be pretty against that idea. However, it is probably worth noting that conscription is not necessarily a bad thing. See, even Permius can attest to the positives of conscription. What I mean by that, though, is that conscription is a tool. It's a tool, and therefore, in my opinion, cannot be defined as something that is good or bad. It's simply a tool that has to be utilized for something. Now, it's pretty obvious and easy to see why conscription could be a bad thing, right? That's duh. But I can think of several scenarios, historically in real life, as well as within fiction, where conscription could be perceived as a good thing. And it's also worth noting that the word conscription is also kind of an umbrella term. It refers to several different types of pulling someone into service. So it's not like it's just kicking down the door and grabbing someone by the neck and saying, "You're going to serve in the army." Although that is a form of conscription. Forced conscription, I believe, is the proper term for that. But you get my point, right? That's why I don't want to get too much off onto this topic. I'm just saying that it is it's a bit of a thing. Now, thank you, Permius, very much, as always, for the sub. Thank you, sir. You're almost at that 2-year mark next month. My goodness. That's weird to think about. But Permius didn't tell me what he wants to put it towards. So I gotta stab Permius now. God, I'm just stabbing so many people today. And Dahlia towards Ace Attorney 2. So noted. And thank you again, Vandalia. And of course, as Schmeinolf just pointed out, the very idea of conscription... Take your time, Permius. The very idea of conscription under the right circumstances could also be perceived as a positive thing. Let me use a completely fictional example. Let's say that Russia decides to invade the United States, and we're like, oh God, we've got to use our nukes to defend ourselves. But then the guy goes to use the nukes and all of a sudden the nukes fire without them opening the silo doors. You should go play Red Alert 2, by the way, it's a good game. Anyways, point being, let's say the Soviet Union decides to invade the United States, and I was pulled in to be conscripted during that conflict. I mean, you can kind of see why, even though I would hate that idea, and I would, I would have to admit, yeah, okay, right? Because it's an unprovoked attack from an aggressive force that is trying to actively, subjugate its conquered people, right? Now, I agree with Hazardous. You probably wouldn't need to conscript in that method, because people would sign the hell up. That's just, it's just historically how that tends to work. But you get my point. I mean, hell's bells. Wolfenstein did the same general thing. Well, today and for the next week, probably, I'm still doing that Witcher game I told you about, period. It's going to be a long one, exclamation mark. I figured doing it over 4th of July would allow plenty of people to see it, comma. It's been widely requested, period. Now I gotta tell it how to spell Witcher, because it has no idea what to make of that. You know that With Your game, right? There. And like I said, there's multiple types of...
Jacko, Hannah, go home now. Strangers coming. Run for your lives.
Wait, what?
You'll not get her away in time.
I'll not give her up. Not on me life.
They hear her
Can't be in
screaming.
two places
They'll
at once,
kill
can
us
I?
and take her all the same.
So I'll slaughter her myself. Hide her corpse neath the floorboards. Those bastards won't have her.
All right, all right. We'll cover them.
Be gone. This has naught to do with you.
Leave this place, sir.
You try to kill that kid, I'm going to rip your throats out. Just want you to be aware of that. In the interest of full honesty. What does gush mean? You don't know what gush means? Stab! Oh, sorry. I gush about Final Fantasy VI. I gush about Lord of the Rings, the movies. I gush about Star Wars, the original trilogy. Let's see. I gush about Nobuo Uematsu's music. I gush about Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon. I gush about Spider-Man PS4.
Oh, welcome. Pay close attention. Hopefully you'll learn something.
I do not gush about donations. Even from Berenian. Interesting. I'm curious what happened, but nevertheless, thank you, Berenian, as ever and as always. Well, since you donated that, would you like to put that towards something? So, horrible stuff. Other day, Falibor died. We've no means to bury him properly. Not a white shirt in the house, nor cloth for a shroud, nor planks for a coffin. If there's aught you can spare, please send help. We don't send him off in the next world proper like he'll haunt us in revenge. Consider yourself informed. Every man with a producing milch cow is obliged to bring it to Crow's Perch afore the week's end. After that, if we find a cow in any man's yard, we'll give him 50 lashes on the spot. The man, not the cow. And take all of the goods of his we can carry. Anyone reporting a man hiding a cow will get a sack of grain as a reward. 50 lashes. For those of you who don't remember, we talked yesterday about how 15 lashes could quite literally kill you, even before the wounds could get infected. 50 is killing a man. That is literally torturing someone to death at that point. Now, what's funny about that is I'm not actually sure which side is making it. It says Surgeon Ardal, but I'm not sure if that's Nilfgaard or if that's Radovid. So... You got it, Permeus. And thank you for not putting it towards Cyberpunk. Yeah, true enough. I've need of a man to guide me and my family across the pond. Oh, I've already read that one. Trees have ears. My true-born brother, Mikel, is missing. Anyone who finds him, or at least finds out what fate has met him, will be generously rewarded. And I'll slip in a good word to the Baron about you as well. You can find me at the inn at the crossroads. Cute. You got it, Berenian. So noted. Thank you again, sir. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to chop off pretty soon. So we're going to run around and just pick up a whole bunch of quests really quick alike. Because with the mod, I find it more efficient to basically have all the quests present, so I can then pick and choose based on geography. So we're going to go ahead and go there. Yeah, the Bloody Baron, I mean, honestly, the Bloody Baron is an awesome, awesome quest chain, and I find Strenger himself to be a fantastic character. I do.
My sweet boy, have mercy. Take pity on an old woman.
But I vehemently disagree with the idea that he is a good person. He's just a good character.
Help an old feeble woman.
What's wrong?
T'other night blasphemers pox take and profane the shrine to Verna the Merciful. Shrine's gotta be repaired, else Verna will take umbrage. Our cows will croak, kitties will be covered in warts, and our dogs will get the mange.
Right. Did I mention superstition? I know what you're thinking. Lore, come on, this is a setting where literal magic exists. Yeah, and that's why I like the fact that superstition is in this setting. Because superstition, fundamentally, is really just a lack of knowledge. And what's something that's a very big theme about the Witcher series?
Warts and mange? Sounds dangerous. Fine, I'll help you. Done.
The good gods have sent ye to me. Someone to repair their shrines from this day on.
Look, already got a trade. I'm a witcher. Restoring traditional roadside structures in wood, just not my specialty.
Fighting evil, that's a witcher's calling. And vandals are worse than beasts.
Ugh, fine.
Fine. I see any damaged shrines, I'll take care of them. Won't go out of my way, though.
Nothing's out of the way in these parts. And the gods will guide ye.
Yes, it is Mind Blast. It is as of last night. Oh, that's the Baron's hut, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Let's leave that for now. Didn't realize where I was going. What's that? I should have one over there. True enough, Ratu. True enough. It probably says something about the nature.
Your dedication will be rewarded.
Of how horrible this setting is when we have to point to someone like him and say, well, at least he's not as other people. At least he's better than other people. I mean, honestly. Alright, who just donated? It was Vigilant who says, you know what, Lore? I hate you. How is that even possible? I mean, literally, at that point, you're just chopping meat for dinner. Vigilant says, during the Napoleonic War, the maximum number of lashes that could be inflicted on a soldier in the British Army reached 1,200. I think we'll go ahead and call Roach for this. This is going to be a bit of a trip. No, this way. There you go. This is why I don't like riding Roach, by the way. It's just kind of a pain. Yep, no, come on. I would leave a mark. It might. See, what actually happened is back in the day, Superman was real. And so the Napoleonic Army tried to punish Superman, but obviously they ran into some issues there. So here's a fun one.
Halt! Standing Jew! I challenge you!
Boots a bit big, maybe? Careful not to trip.
Halt, I say! I am Ronvid of the Small Marsh, bound by a sacred oath.
Oh, that's rough. My sympathies.
To honor Maid Bilberry, fairest of all maids I know, by dueling 100 knights to the death. Now, draw your sword post haste, for I've knights in hand left after you.
Why do you want to fight me?
Why are you challenging me? Don't recall doing anything to offend the Maid Bilberry.
Well, why? Then swear. Swear! Maid Bilberry's the most loveliest of all.
Thing is, I've never laid eyes on her.
Aha! Ah! I shall wash your scorn away with thy blood, fiend. Stand and fight.
So, welcome to the Glass Joe of Velen.
Enough. I yield.
Now.
Had enough?
Yes. Luck stood with you. But the next time we meet...
It's probably worth noting that I don't have the damage variable on my sword turned up right now. Remember, I turned it down to fight the Griffin, and I never turned it back up. Now, granted, I do have a level Doom sword on me, but I point that out because he went down in one hit just to a hit. Like, I didn't hit him for 70,000 like I can do else with like, Igni. That was just, he has that little HP. I'm actually torn on this one, because on the one hand, the guy needs a serious wake-up call. Yeah, exactly, Lucky Gorilla. But on the other hand, I feel like he'll show up later if I just tell him to run off. Does anyone remember? This is why this is not a low run, by the way. Well, I did just ask, Sonoshi. He does show up later. That's what I thought. So I'm going to go ahead and be like...
Go back to Mate Bilberry and apologize for being an ass. Quick, before I change my mind and break your bones.
We shall meet again.
He'll learn his lesson, right? Right. I mean, surely he will. Oh my god, there is a pig flying by right now! Yep. Sorry, Roach. Sorry. The Great Maid Bilberry, if I recall correctly. I turned, Roach, I turned. Come on, you can teleport, you can take a jump. God, Roach, so finicky. No, I'll remember Maid Bilberry.
What's your take, Penny? Don't steal our young'uns.
No, I'm gonna steal all your kids.
What happened to your mug?
My mother? Oh. Okay, so here's what we're actually gonna do. Since this is taking longer than I already thought it would. We're gonna save, we're gonna pause, we're gonna exit the game, we're gonna exit the recording.